And this could be, maybe, even with all the other amazing series that we've had so far today, one of the best if we get everything statistical. Demo.
I mean, this is right up our street, isn't it?
Oh,
G2 Secret, we've seen it. I mean, we've seen it all before, but it never disappoints.
There's some elements towards this when you get inter-region games. You obviously get them at this point in the tournament, and there's sometimes arguments of, I hate it. Why are they doing? Why is my region the one that's not being able to be on either side of the finals? But it means we are sending the best of the best all the way to the end, right? You're going to hopefully, theoretically, get those sort of top teams. Sorry, Heretics. I'm sorry about that. But hey.
Fourth best EU.
Fourth best EU. Take it. To be fair, actually, this is the complimentary moment of the amazing run that the team has had. And now you get to see our job, which probably less stressful, I think. Is that fair?
Probably more stressful to be.
Really?
Ooh. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'm confident in my own game, but...
To be fair, we'd say the same if we had to play.
Yeah.
So
that's very true, actually. I think I would be the worst rated player that has ever touched the game if I had to play at SI. I think I'm also going to give some quick perspective on the pair of you two, because you two have known each other for quite a while, I think. And
sadly.
So I might just prop up play-by-play and let you two go at each other and argue about the game itself.
Yeah. Well, me and Oscar, we've had a good old chat about the maps, and we look at Clubhouse. Now, Oscar, we know that G2, they've kind of been prepping this for a while, because it was kind of like their permaban for a good old period.
Yeah.
I mean, up against Secret, though, I think are, again, a very competent Clubhouse team.
Yeah, I think it should be, as long as Secret play that game, I think it should be quite swift.
Well, I'm going to sort of poke at you first here about these bans. Obviously, you've got the Rid of the Capital, the Blackbeard, and then the double electrics. From your perspective, do you feel that this is sort of the top end of what you would do against these teams?
Yeah, against Secret, they're very good with the Uto and the shields, so they obviously don't want to play against the shield and good with the Uto.
Oh! Well, Mowgli opens up. Actually, elsewhere, Laura was just trying to farm some clips, but in the meantime, He's already been put to bed. That is no smoke. The first loss, and the shields are already off to the races. Laura's able to find Adrian. They're going to charge their way up towards the top of red, and the player is just going to try and get out of there before suddenly they're entirely surrounded. The impact will get some impact with Stompin having the cover over the shoulder, and it's turned into a little bit of a bloodbath here at the top of the stairs. Does have the utility that you mentioned. They're very good at using it, but now they've got to try and break their way against it. Held at bay. Remembering the site is down in the basement, this top floor is just a back and forth brawl. Mowgli dives in, Stompin pushes right back against them, and at this point, a 3 versus 2, but they're vacating, they're getting out of there. They've remembered where the site is, and they've got the cover to bring it back.
I was going to mention, this is the basement. You know, we're not dealing with that top floor. It's that massive extension, that roam game from G2, and it's worked out really well for them. I mean, being able to pick off, you know, Savage, who all he'd said to Doki, you want to face against Savage on the shields or prime time Doom, they've dealt with both of them immediately.
I guess it's sort of the moment with a minute 10, the 3 versus 2, and you're looking at what the attackers still have in their pockets. A couple of frag grenades, a couple of hard breaches, but without the Hibana, they're hoping that what has already been opened is what's going to remain open, because, well, they've got the choice. Get themselves Stog Hatch, get themselves potentially Bar Hatch if it's not been done as well, and then from then, what?
Well, I mean, the clash is still yet to be revealed, I think, for G2. Blaz on that operator, it's now been spotted out. And you can't really drop Kitchen Hatch. You cannot go for that kind of route into the bombs, that you're going to have to look for another alternative, because that shield is just going to nullify it. And they may try and double up and maybe go for the Moto take, just judging on where they're positioned.
Now, at this point, Clash has the back line, and I guess the question starts to be, where can you dive your way through? And as the keepers get replaced, and they've got themselves a bit of a split push, it's a question I'll come back to you in a second on Oscar before this comes together. Do you double up, or you just try and find the isolation? There's the first cross, there's the first end, and that is the first round.
I think that round is a perfect example of the new Clubhouse meta. You want to work the top floor, you want to hard hold either gym side or the cash side, and they held the cash side perfectly. Got the man advantage, and then they're falling back on the Clash and there's Army, and what can I do?
I mean, Clash has been a big issue. I don't know how have you guys kind of dealt with that operator? Because I think the pick rate from her, there's not a massive amount of counters outside like Nomad. I mean, nobody's really going to bring the Kali, but I mean, how is Clash at the moment?
The only team I've seen really bring the Kali is VP and the LCQ actually. But yeah, you have to bring a Nomad or maybe even a Cappy, but obviously they ban the Cappy, so you can only bring the Nomad, and you're attacking basement and you've got Nomad, so it's That's even.
Bomb located by
You can't really
attackers.
afford to bring that.
You're stuck in. You're locked in. And I guess it's always the conversation that we've often had is there's just so much to ban nowadays.
Yeah.
We've had this discussion. It's a lot of good attackers. I mean, do you then go for the Grim ban? I mean, that operator as well is really good on the map like Clubhouse. You think about the different areas even on that basement. Maybe, yes, we didn't really get to see it, but still, we know how strong that operator is. Basement locked out. Not going to go for the gym and bedroom. G2 opting then for the bomb site, which I'm not a massive fan of. I think just with that exterior breach, you get that opened up, and there ain't a whole lot you can do unless you play this really deep util game, which you've brought in the Wama, you've got the Izami. But Savage on that shield, Oscar, and we know what he's like on that operator.
Impossible to play against. He's probably one of the best.
I mean, I dare say argue maybe the best at looking at the event.
I'm just play-by-play. You two are the ones that can put out the controversial statements people can complain about later. I'm protecting myself. I don't know anything. But what I do know is probably going to start with an approach on towards the garage. When you got that Monty, get yourself in up and you're looking towards the pressure of, well, there, CC breach. But that's not really the biggest problem, especially with the double hard electrics even banned out. And then from this point here, want to try and drive themselves up against the Izami, against Doki, but he's happy to play in this position. And obviously with those, he's probably going to have himself a little bit more safety. You can hear the air jabs being set up, all three of them, in very quick succession around the bottom here, Demo.
Yeah, it looks to be flank protection perhaps here from Jum, because he's going to be lurking inside the lounge. It stops anybody kind of swinging onto the players inside a garage as the approach is now beginning. Savage trying to gain a bit of information, but just waiting until in goes the Grims. Here we go now, in comes the nades with the Wamai discs in good positions.
No,
but it
Moira quite get him. The second one will probably get the end of him. No, somehow survives. Doki gets Mowgli as well. There goes the Grim. The Monty's a little bit cornered, but you don't want to try and hit the height rope because otherwise we'll probably going to get caught from elsewhere. More flashes, more burn, but there needs to be something else to support this at this point, and they're kind of just stuck looking for the cross angle on CC. It feels like they're missing something, but hey, sometimes when you're hoping and praying, those get answered.
Loira, I don't think he needed to stand up, but Doki, what a great pick, just swings onto the players in garage. Savage doesn't know what to do. Does he unshield? Does he play for the kill? He thinks, oh, I'm just going to keep feeding that information, but somebody needs to kill this guy. Doki just been allowed to stay up here for far too long.
Well, he unshielded for a second, and that bought another bit of space, but Adrian almost suffered the same fate in his teammates, and now 50 seconds. Would you say this is a little bit too slow, Oscar?
Yeah, especially with the smoke and the C4, this is going to be really hard. They might have to play for kills.
Another thing I've noticed, nothing to open up in towards rafters, so they have to go through the window. And we know there's going to be a C4 waiting for that.
See, they've got all of the read on this on the BP, so as soon as they try and make this growth, it's going to happen. They're throwing out the bros, just to sort of say the statement of, we're watching you. There's the impact DMP on towards that bulletproof. They know they have to try and bait out this utility, but 20 seconds. The defenders have 7 seconds to wait anyway. Here's the first play. There's more of a reveal. They're not quite able to get themselves anywhere secret. They could try and tuck in close on towards the half wall, but instead they've just got to drive because of the bulletproof. They're pushing themselves further and further. They just took the territory, refused to play the game in the bulletproof, and Alamau, can he get the stop? He's swinging his way around. He can't quite find the player. He's a second too late, Adrian.
Oh my god.
Just clutches in. I've hit an oh my god, but I gotta know what happened there.
G2 knew they had to play for kills though, and they gave the picks.
It was the correct call. I mean, we've seen the setup. They couldn't get themselves into the kind of traditional plant. Reopen up in towards rafters. I mean, that rafter hold would cause Secret a lot of issues, but still able to make it happen. You know, for Loira, just could he have just proned? Did he need to maybe help Doki? It didn't look as though he was under any immediate danger. But it's that shield again from Savage. I mean, that's the danger man that we've highlighted plenty of times. I also think Jum, coming in on the backstab in from bedroom, was able to get the down, I think, onto the tub. That was also very important, and that's what Secret have. You've got Savage on those shields. You've got Jum who can make those plays.
If we want to trade it rounds, we have them. Now, at this point, we find our way round on towards Jim. You know, there's actually been a play of bar, and I've missed it. I'm kind of upset about that, this tournament. There's only one site, as the start of this day, that hasn't been played. Guess what it is?
I have no idea.
No idea, none at all. Can you?
Not, well, I mean, surely, has Haman been played in Fortress?
Yeah, I think Wildcard played it.
I can see that actually two analysts in the corner. What do you think it was? Hammam, forward.
Was I right? Was I right?
No, I believe it was a site on left.
By being hoodwinked?
I think so. But now I'm doubting myself because I was told this fun fact earlier.
No, we've had a kitchen.
No, it's Lair. It's the army site.
Yeah.
Hammam has been played apparently.
Oscar said wildcard.
Wildcard. To be fair, they've played a lot of weird sites. They just went on a rotation. Anyway, there's the fun story in the...
We got there in the end, yeah.
Listen, if the pro can't guess it as well, then I think I'm doing okay, but... I failed at guessing it.
I've been trying to play the game, not watch it.
LED active.
Hey, what, you're telling me you're not tuned in for the cars?
Located above.
We're a bit busy.
Trying my best, but I'm prepping.
That's fine,
I'm
that's
losing.
fine. At this point, moment of silence and the buck hunting underneath.
Yeah, I like this. This is good from Jim. I mean, Jim in the buck is a staple operator for him. He can get himself in below. Very capable entry player, we know if he needs to be. Putting Loira under a lot of pressure, but Loira on the vigil. Going to be immune to the bees, but you can see right now, Austria have got onto it. They can see the scanner from below.
Well, you can see they're trying to just force the play out. The flash has gone towards the top of red, and that's going to at least get rid of the shield. But can they catch the player? No, it does go down, but stopping in Loira. One apiece puts us into the 4 versus 3. Still trying to find a fight through the floorboards with the boss G, but unfortunately it seems like there's nobody that wants to try and step up to the boss. Instead, it's another fight on red, and it's one that Doom can win, level things out. 3 apiece until Doki has a say, and look, instantly fall away. They've done the damage, done the decimation, and have done the sort of deed and slipped away, Oscar.
Yeah, this seems like G2's game plan here is play aggressive till the 3v3-ish, and then just fall back and test their execute.
Think that's something Secret can often suffer from?
Not fully, but maybe I think with all the heavy util, you might have to.
Wow, the heavy util starts to pop. We can hear the smoke and we can see the smoke. Doki hits the door hard and, well,
And overheat.
over he goes, but I mean, that's Doki.
It's good info. I mean, you know Savage is just out in the windows now, so I think for the 1v2 to be played, just a trade game here for the 2 Brazilians on G2. Savage will pick up the kit and does get smoked off, and he just has to pick, does he go bedroom or does he go in towards Logi, and Logi is where he's gonna go. Shotgun close from Alamau. Good smoke, and there's the boss G. Loira nails him as he tries to make that divide. G2, the game plan's working.
You seen I kill the guy, Con? Fuck him.
Yeah, so we've heard that from all of you across the playdays. I don't know how aware you are of that.
No, I don't swear.
To be fair, I will say you're not the biggest pop-off player. I remember we cast a big clutch of yours. Oh, they will tell you this in a second. After the ban's through, I think we're getting a timeout. So we can have a listen in towards the players, and then we'll pick this story up.
Take a step back to just make sure like you call every single thing. Don't assume people are going to be able to play off you. Just call it. Okay, so you're going to go and ask people to play aggressive off that, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Guys, for this basement round, I don't have much to say, so we can just keep it up with the planning. That has been good. Going on to cash again, I like the idea from Savage over there. Let's try to play a little bit more of timing over there, because we will take them out of surprise, you know. Just go and explode it into the cash wall once we open it. Like, these 2 guys garage, so we make them stuck over there and we go for it. And then for this Jin over there, you remember what I spoke with you about Consulate, about the pressure from below as well. If you need to, just go and open some pixels, but you won't kill no one from below. I need you 2 on 2 positions to play, and I need all of you guys around us already, because they won't be standing still just waiting for the bug to kill them, guys. So we need to play punitive mode, either to just go and roll over into that, or get ready for this aggression into this timing. It's only about that. You guys will win the round by this, you know?
Yeah.
So, I see both of you nodding and pulling a face. What are your thoughts on a timeout like that?
Yeah, I thought that was decent. I think you also have to talk about the ban. The Azami ban is good for the game plan that has been called here. Like, they want to play more aggressive, play together, and not let them, you know, just get the free picks. So, especially if they get the picks, they can't fall back.
I think I spoke to Twister, and he said, you know, I kind of asked him, you know, what is the mentality with going for the timeouts, you know, this event? And he says, for the most part, it's kind of circuit breaker. If he needs to get in there and just kind of chill them out, he thinks Savage is calling really great this event. But that seemed to be a lot more specific than what we've seen prior for Twister before this game. You know, he's kind of going more into the strats that needs to be called. Like he said, for example, on that cache, open up the main bridge and rush through it and leave the garage guys just by themselves. You know, that might be the game plan that Twister wants to see. Go more aggressive into G2, which again is always a risk because we know the players that G2 have and can very quickly lose to a 3K and a 4K because there's been some big multi-kills for G2 so far this tournament. But we head down to the basement, so it may be a while before we get back up to those top floor sites again.
You see G2 here bringing the Clash again. I think that's the 3rd time they played the Clash here this match.
Yeah, I mean, is it something that you usually expect from them as a team? Is it?
I think I haven't watched that many games, but they like to abuse the info, and it's, you know, it's a walk in info. So if they can play together off the info, it's good.
Well, it feels, I was about to say, it feels like a slightly slower start up top, but it's Stumpin in the meantime getting Noah around billiards.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a mistro, no, for Noah just to walk straight in towards pool table and get killed. I mean, Stumpin has went unchecked. There's been no trade there for Secret, so yeah, bit of a hit because you think about the operator that they've got. It's the Habana who, as we know, is not only great for opening up those hatches, even towards the later stage, thinking about triple wall in towards Church. A lot of util being wasted, but still, you've got ways in. You still got the ace, you still got the hard breach gadgets from Ying. It's not all done, but it's all about these roamers. That's what Secret need to try and find.
You can see they're trying to pinch them out, and Mowgli's about to find a fight immediately. The Candela rolls out from the hatch. The pre-throw in C4 doesn't quite get the landing, but Stompin has the glasses and the gun to back it up. Looks for the second, he's just pre-firing the angle, but think of the time, think of the players, and think of the third, because he's going to try and find a 4th instead. Keep sending it, Stompin! Absolutely pockets all of them. The king of the game seems to be the statement here from Doki, but if he can make an ace, he might be Lord Emperor sooner rather than later. He's got a second to spare, but instead, they're just going to try and drive onto the site. You assume the pressure's going to come whether he goes up or down. Hello, Clash. Hello, Stompin!
That's king.
Oh, big old ace. Off the back of just himself. He was just by himself, kind of hovering towards bathroom, waiting to play a game of pool, and he finds 5. Obviously found Noah. I mean, the kill for me, it was Mowgli. Should have had him dead right, but he got flashed by his own teammate. The Candela came in through the hatch. And then Stompin, of course, he's the warden, puts the goggles on, wins that engagement. And this is where the individuals, as much as what we've talked about, the players in Secret, G2, and how stacked that they are. I'm still waiting for Loira. I'm waiting for the demon time still, don't forget. It's still upon us.
He's still on demon time. It's like waiting for a bus. But a very violent one here. There's the catch, and then obviously leaning in. They just pushed a little bit staccato, a little bit separated.
He's loving the prone.
Yeah, a lot of prone picks, yeah.
I think it felt like quite a lot this whole tournament. There's been a lot of them. And then
just one guy. I mean, for Secret, obviously off the back of the timeout, not gonna feel great. But that is the basement locked out once again for G2. We will not see them back down there unless we get into that overtime. But the way it's going, I mean, G2 racking up a lot of rounds for themselves. We go back over towards the cache, and this is where we remember it was a very heavy util hold in towards Catwalk. We've seen a lot of Wamais and Azami's being used. Now, Oscar, with that Azami ban, you don't have that kind of credibility now to sit up there as safely as what you could before.
Yeah, but I want to see if they do the timeout plan that they were going to do.
What, the rush through the breach?
Yeah.
Well, they've only got one there right now, and maybe it shook their confidence. Seems like instead they've started to look over towards the stretch. They've obviously got this extension towards Logi, and I guess it's one of those things, but a round like that, if you had the timeout, does it shake you? Does it make you worry about doing a fast-moving strat?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah. I think they want to just slow it down, work the picks better.
Oh, they can't do any worse than suffering a flawless on an ace from the side of Stompin, so every way is up, and the first might be this, the pinch. Set up on towards construction, make sure as soon as somebody tries to leave via Logi, they can just get cut off at the pass, and now put the pressure elsewhere. But to be honest, Loira is not backing up into the problem. Malamau and Stompin, they're sat inside the bedroom side as well. There's only really 2 players around the site, though Loira has rotated back in. There's a bit of work being done by a Twitch drone as well, removing some utility.
Need to try and find a pick for for Secret, because that time is slowly ticking away, and there's still smokes that they need to try and find. I've noticed as well that Jum was able to get all 5 scans on the player, so potential destruction from below. We know that Deimos pistol can go pretty crazy. But now this is where they can rotate back over towards Rafters, and without that Azami, we know that Doki is going to be a little bit more of a rougher position if he wants to try and maneuver around that.
I mean,
he doesn't care.
Oh, he doesn't care. Swings out wide, gets Savage, gets the Twitch gone, the grenades will roll through, and they do get the pick as the trade, a very important stat, but you can see the smokes stop and cover the breach itself, so if they wanted to go quick, well, they have no choice. At this point, Alamau has rotated his way back towards site, but Stompin is still on the far side, by the window, watching and waiting, just in case he gets a chance.
I think it's also to note that this time, Secret, they do have the hard breach, so they can go and open up in towards that Rafters wall. Jum has been able to find a pick. He was lurking inside a stock for a good old period, and like I said, open up the wall. They can now try and work this plan. Adrian has the diffuser in his hand. Oh, the top is going to stall him out ever so slightly. Lura going aggressive. Look at this rotate from Blans, though. Will they have any idea he's playing close to the breach? No, they don't. Blans picks up one. No, looks away at the wrong moment. Noah able to get the trade.
They're driving themselves in towards the site, get rid of the BP and get themselves planted unknown, but underneath, that's where the danger players are. The impact is impactless as they can't quite get the angle. Instead, swung up red, but only to meet their end, and now it's double down. Secret finally find the end of a round, but it was drifting further and further away. They didn't go with plan E, as you said, Oscar, but plan B, it made its way over the line.
Yeah, there was a bit of a dodgy garage clear, I'd say, but they got the kill in the end, so.
It's one of the things, I guess, with those sort of aggressive positions there, the impact of a player like Blaz in that position, how much do you need to be ready for that against a team like G2?
Yeah, well, you have to be just prime reactive, because the guy's going to give the call out, he's going to scream it, and you just have to play. Sometimes the plan doesn't work, so you have to just react.
I guess that's technically what we do as well, Demo.
Sometimes. I mean, if we were talking about Blaz earlier in Fortress, then yeah, we definitely do. I mean, I still have to mention it. That Blaz clutch earlier, that has to be the most unexpected clutch that's happened so far. Because that, like, where did that come from?
Well, you could say it in less polite words, but I'm a play-by-play. I don't get into heat.
I keep using that as a stigma.
Yes, I can. Listen, when we bring in a pro for a TriCast, I'm allowed to hide behind anything. That's what I was going to say before. We cast one of your big clutches, and you were so chill. Like, you were just... I would be screaming. Do you not get that energy?
That's just my personality, I think.
Yeah, other day in the office.
I'm one round at a time, you know?
One round.
If I win a clutch, or if we troll around, you know, I try... It's the same emotion, you know?
Do you think that's an important mentality everybody should have, or is that just a personal?
That's just personal, I think. As a team, you definitely need the hype and the emotions, but it's nice, I think, to have one consistent member, or maybe 2 consistent members that you can always rely on.
Unfortunately, not Noah. First body gone again, and yet again, it's the hard breach. They have just felt cursed throughout this game so far. Keep on being taken down, Demo.
Well, they are bringing in double hard breach, so it's not all is lost.
No.
Still ways around this, of course, but losing that opening pick on a map like Clubhouse, I know that Oscar, we've talked about it. Man advantage is very, very important in this kind of map.
And it's not traded either. You can lose the entry pick, no trade. It gets harder and harder.
Well, that's 2 now.
Yeah, that's 2. That's a 5 versus 3. They've got themselves surrounded here, and G2 are posing up for a 4-2 defensive half. Now, there is still a chance at a catch, but Lawyer hasn't left yet. He said he can do demon time, and he's going to see if he can try and start to clock in for a shift. No, not quite yet. We are on Mowgli time still, and Mowgli almost gets time for a second before they fade away. The breach can continue. Secret, they're keeping up a pace here, making sure that they're still putting pressure, Demo.
Yes, that clash again, though, that's the issue. It's this extension from G2. They want to fight, they want to waste as much time and util away from Secret, then hit them where it hurts in that late stage. I mean, Stompin posted up right now, using that shield to lock down that gym window.
Question is, they've sort of left Kit behind, yeah, but then they just throw themselves in towards the site. Adrian's suddenly gone for the recollection, Demo.
Lovely play, though, using the Flores drone to move him away from that mattress into the open arms of Adrian. Yeah, gets that kill back that's needed, and now they're going to try and target that clash via the Flores, but guess what? Clash has legs and can simply walk away.
I've heard a rumor that Clash had legs. I get to see it in action, and that's crazy. They're still sending the Flores in. They have to try and time this together. I'm wondering what other it's utility they want to pocket or just force this player out of the bathroom. Couldn't quite get the catch, but you can see a bit of a rotate. Mowgli's in behind the kit, but he's instantly smoked out away from it, and instead, almost finds a sliver of a fight, but he just keeps driving to Blaz. Blaz picks up one, the 3 versus 2, and now that clash just becomes infinitely more powerful, but instead Adrian is going to try and send one way, Savage gets the other, and now another 2 versus 2, but with 10 seconds before it becomes the 1 versus 2, they're going to head down and hope for the best. They've hit the pipe, buy themselves some time on the door, so they can't quite cross that path and get the down. Savage has the perfect cover, and now Stompin puts us into another clutch or die situation, and he almost gets Savage on the way out the window, but the shield, so powerful, so movable, and look how far away that they're going. Savage, he's gone really, really distance on it.
Oh,
he can
no.
just sort of get caught.
No.
He can't make it in time. He's not going to be able to get the catch on it. You can see he's panicking, but at this point, Stompin is cool as ice.
Oh, Savage! Tried to
was
play
the
it
clash.
safe.
He knew that was the clash, and he still went away.
Oh. That's a heartbreaker for Savage. He thinks, yeah, I'm going to play it safe, go on the repel, but no! The shield being placed up. I mean, that is a big round for G2 to swing that in their favor, and, well, the half. 4-2. Good showing for G2.
Yeah, I guess I'll ask you 2 questions. The first one is from a 4-2 on that sort of side. Obviously, we talked about this map. Demo said Secret were a bit surprised that G2 wanted to bring them here. Is this sort of what these teams would be expecting, especially with a timeout used?
You're looking for at least 4, I think. I mean, I would say it's expected, but my game earlier, we only got 2 defenses. So,
Right. I didn't want to mention it. I didn't want to mention it.
But yeah, they'd be happy with 4-2, especially because it's not their pick.
Yeah. Great point that he's made. This is one thing that we've noticed as well about G2, and I know that Jack has mentioned it quite a lot. G2 are a team where they're happy to go and pick a map that they're not great at as the first map, because if they lose it, it wasn't our map anyway. But the closer that map gets, the more you're going to worry the opposition. So I think for G2, against the map pick, getting already a 4-2 half and the opportunity still to win the map, don't forget, and even make it close, get it to OT. Secret's thinking, if that was them on our map, what are they going to be like on their map?
So, the second question I was going to ask before we talk about the bans, and I have a bit of a working theory, but I'm curious what your first instinct is that when that sort of situation happens, as you sort of said, he forgot about the clash, is that a miscomm, or is that just a misunderstanding of how things are playing together, do you think?
10 seconds to insertion.
It could be a miscomm, but I think that's
5
just
seconds
probably
to go.
tunnel vision. He's obviously gone, oh, I can win. Like, he's had a Eureka
Attackers are
moment.
moving out
He's
to
gone,
locate a
oh, I
bomb
can win
and
from
defuse
far
it.
away. And he's totally forgot what operator's playing.
Yeah, I do that, but much lower stress situations, so I can entirely imagine. 4-2, and now we can highlight the bans. Obviously, the double hard electric removal is gone. You've not got that for the side of the defense, and potentially see a mirrored, but it depends on the extension. And then on the other side, Thermite limit that. But then also the Grim sort of feels like it's a ban affecting both sides here. Oscar, what are your sort of perspectives and takeaways on these operator removals?
The Cade. Oh,
Oh no!
nice shot.
Okay, I'll come back to your point because I think I need to talk about this game right now. This demo's hit the floor. It's 3 players either side, and there is some still fire, and that is a way of clearing out rafters. You said, well, they didn't do it the cleanest last time. It's a bit messier here on the approach, but again, think about the site. Think about how this started at the beginning of the map demo.
Yeah, I mean, overall for that trade, it's pretty good for Secret. What a hit from Jim, by the way. I mean, that was brilliant. And yeah, I think for G2, you've still got the hard breach option, which I think is very, very important. It's different if you lose both the hard breachers and then you're sat with, you know, a few nades and a few flashbangs. But we know that this basement, it's all about opening the hatches, getting the walls opened up, creating as much pressure as possible. So overall, not a bad trade. But for G2, it's decision-making. What is going to be their option? Obviously, with Clubhouse, you want to try and have that 5v5 exit. You want to try and hit as many different avenues as you can. Whenever you've only got 3, you're kind of restricted. They've actually spotted the scope boost upstairs. Noah should be fine because he can TP. There we go. No problem at all. So here we go. This is more like it. The 3v3, all players in sight. It's up to G2 for their attack.
They haven't destroyed the shell, though. They've sort of left it on towards the top as far as I could see before, so I mean, I'm not going to say it could come back to haunt them, but it can always come back to haunt them, and it's actually Alamal's going to find his way around to it, and he's making sure that the Scopos has left, and...
Nice, Carl.
Just changing max.
Could have shot it. No, I'll firm it.
Listen, we all make mistakes in the heat of pace. 40 seconds, though. Still with Janari laser traps, and still with Kibas in pocket, and still with the threat. Do they have enough time?
They've got the Capital, that's important. They've got a bit of util to try and counter that clash.
At this point as well, there's no C4, just impacts to try and stop it. I'm not sure if they were hoping for a bait, but it's actually able to slip their way through behind the case and go for the plant itself. Watch. They've got the cross. They've made sure that nobody can get across this divide, but they almost let it slip. They do get the plant. They do get the planter, and now they've just got stomping. Once again, how many times will we be in this situation? But can we make it 3 for 3 on his impressive tally so far? Holding. And he's about to be held by what he worked so brilliantly before. There's that clash. She's making a quick route up towards the top. Noah is waiting as well. The clash is putting all this pressure on. Stomping though. He gets Noah and he just gets out of there. And now what do you do? At this point, do you drop down, hope you can get the defuse in time? They're going to be able to play the verticality. They're hoping he doesn't have the angle. But Stompin just seems so on top of it all, Demo.
Stompin on point to make that 1v2 happen. He was up against the Clash, who we seen was running upstairs. A good play from Secret, used the shield to get him off the verts. But Noah went just a little bit too fast, and he gave himself away to Stompin. Once it goes into that 1v1, look how clever Stompin is. He hears the Clash running upstairs, just run away. He's gonna have to drop the hatch at some point. Wow, G2 getting that over the line. Stompin can do no wrong. 12 and 3, I believe he is. Wow.
What a series.
You might be the lucky
Already.
charm. I was going to say, it's map 1, but you might be Stompin's lucky charm. That's the way. I mean...
Look at that. Wow.
12 and 3 on the KD, positive on the entry, and sort of coming in towards this game as well, obviously, with how the team played earlier on with the GT series we covered. Loira was the top dog. Loira was the one that could sort of do no wrong, and Stompin, he still had a positive game. He was still 17 to 12. But here, how he's been able to step up to this point earlier today, he was the top-rated player for G2.
The thing with G2, they're all having a great tournament. I mean, all of them. We were looking at the stats earlier, and also you made a great point. If Blaz is playing well for that team, that's great because you've got the 4 kind of younger ones. Well, I say Doki younger, well, kind of, maybe a little bit. We say the 4 younger ones, and then you've got Carl, who we know is calling great as the IGL.
Yeah, if you're playing against 4 players that are literally playing out of their mind, and 1 cooler, what can you do?
I mean, that's either 1 SI23.
It is.
It is.
It is, and a certain Master Avenger, but he's elsewhere now.
Yeah, and goes through into the next round, Benja.
Maybe
SSG.
They've already defeated one of the people from that roster before as well inside the packing, so there's the split here. Attention on the far side. G2 now, as you sort of said, getting 4 on your swing through there is good when they got that on their defense, but losing that first one in a manner like that, do you think that affects the team a bit, Oscar?
Yeah, I mean 5-2, if you're looking at the scoreboard, you're not happy really. 4-3, you know it's a close game, but you're 3 rounds apart.
Yeah, big buffer. Loira, it's a bit of damage from somewhere, and again, these early engagements will happen, and Stompin chasing that player all the way downstairs. That's good information. They know that the player is on the roam at the moment. And again, Stompin just careful off that. Do keep in mind this is our gym and bedroom, so seeing basement fights is very unusual in this map, but still, it happens. But it's all about the util dump in towards top red. You can see that shield to defend said player. Stompin has got the nade, but he needs to go ahead and say that, yeah, the util is cleared away before he goes for it. And there we go, the shield is gone, and Alamau with the pickup, and another, oh my word! Mobley, you don't hear the Blackbeard running at you?
Wow, they can't hear much more else. It's a 3 versus 3 though. They've gone for the retake, and suddenly they're in a bit of a tight spot here. There's a bit of damage being done. Savage in an aggressive position, but still a swing back up top red and a 2 versus 2. But Adrian and Savage, they did their best to save the missing man, and since then, now a 2 versus 2. Let's get out of here. But Look at the health across the 4 remaining players. 50 seconds. No C4 left in pocket, but an impact could be the end of Loira. How do they try and formulate their close here?
This is a great battle. You've got Savage still alive. You've got Alamau still alive with their 2 favorite players. You've got Adrian with Savage. You've got Loira with Alamau. I mean, this is a great 2v2.
There's the pre-fire, just sort of put the pressure on here across Logi. Hop their way back round. The Deathmark can't quite get the catch, but the pressure of a grenade almost getting his teammate probably isn't going to be the way that you want this to go again. G2 now onto the next angle, and they know everything is going to be a challenge, but you can see the position there aggressively. Adrian held himself on the other side of the bed and leaves. Alamau in a 1 versus 2 to push this one on towards map point. He can't quite get the right angle. He's not quite sure where he's sort of supposed to be looking. It's just down the barrel of 2 guns.
That's the power of the fullback.
Same strategy.
I was going to say, you said it before, it's the sort of strategy that they use. Do you think this is sort of just 2 teams knowing each other very well?
Yeah, obviously they played a lot, but I think it's a pretty standard map, and you know what you're expecting really with Clubhouse.
Yeah, it comes back to what we always mention about Clubhouse. There's not much that you can do kind of new, because it has been around for quite a while. It's different if we're looking at a fortress and then really, you know, we don't know where that's going to go. But at the moment so far, very close game. I mean, great siege on display. I mean, the trade game, I think, has been very quick and very fast. But that's just because this lobby's stacked. I mean, if you look at the stats with all 10 of the players, everyone's in and around like the 100 mark for EPS. Everyone having a great tournament in this lobby. It's just a shame that one of them's going home. It really is.
Ready as well. The sort of...
Oh, I hate EU versus EU. It's just... Oh, why?
Does your heart break?
It's not fun. Especially, I love these 2 teams as well. This is a tough one for me.
I thought your favorite team was Heretic.
Well, they're gone, so we can't support them.
It's alright.
So who's the new favorite? If you have to pick one.
Well, this is the issue. I wasn't a big fan with G2 at the start of the tournament with how they were going about things, but that last game, as always, G2, and I mean, if you're a G2 fan, everyone knows what I mean. Somehow they pull you back in. It's like the mime in Paris. He's showed you and he pulled you in.
Did that happen? Did you say that like it happened to you?
To be fair, when I saw them against FaZe for elimination, I thought they were out. But, you know, and they made it further than me.
Yeah.
But G2 have a habit of that. Obviously, their run to Montreal started with FaZe, and this round's going to start with Doki getting Doom. How do you deal with Prime Doom? Well, Doki's at least found one of the answers, and it's a Blackbeard holding... Oh, a cheeky angle down on towards Blue. What the Mirror was doing there, exploring, I couldn't tell you.
Just Jim doing Jim things, but we'll not question it.
Is that one of the parts of the new meta, Oscar? Roaming Mirror?
That's a bit questionable, but maybe you can C4 through the concrete from the basement, you know?
That's true, that's true. Do a bit of reverse fishing out of the grid and get themselves the pressure on, but ooh, are they going to try and sprint their way up red here? They've obviously got the pressure for the breach, and oh no, they no longer have
the garage.
Doki, yeah, outside.
It's either a case where he is swung onto a player. Did he get peeked out of the breach? I think he did. I'm looking at my other monitor. I think Savage has swung the breach and killed Doki outside the garage door. A very cheeky kill from Savage, but credit to him. Whenever you're in a big match like this and backs up against the wall, you need to make some plays. Here comes that util dump, but the coverage has come in. Loira is downed, and that means the flames are not going to be active.
I'm not even 100% sure that was that really Noah that was just able to get a cheeky little angle. The Capitale's obviously been caught out, but he might be able to get back up. It also like the spray came from elsewhere, but if they go for the recollection, they're just keeping the cover. They don't want to go for it and get caught out, but Noah's not moving as of yet. He's sort of lost his life in a couple of situations where he'd rather not. So instead, play it safe. There's a minute. They've still got to get you out of the position. You've still got threat you can apply here, and now they've got even less. They've lost a bolt on that approach, but also what else do they have? No flashes. They're limited in terms of their sort of swing potential, and now they're trying to chase out Adrian on the far side of the map with Stompin with the kit rotating under, sort of over the top, back and forth. Especially Mowgli that gets Alamau, the 4 versus 2, 1.
Wow.
Okay, it's done.
I will say that catwalk position is a good contrast of how both of their teams are playing. G2, they're going demon mode on that rafters. And
Demon time.
Demon time.
Thank you.
And Secret, they're holding through the verts. They're trying to come up. Juma's trying to come up at them, obviously, to help for when they were clearing the rafters. But G2, they're just running and gunning. And on the attack, they're starting to slow down, really.
At what point would you want a timeout called if you were in G2's shoes?
I think you could afford one more loss with the 5-5.
Okay. This is one of the things that we always sort of guess at, but I'd obviously love to hear the perspective.
I think it literally depends on what's being called. Like, I think if the calls are a bit questionable, maybe the vibe's down, then you want it at 5-4. But if you're just losing because they're better, then I think 5-5 is probably better.
Yeah, I think this game is coming down to obviously some important kills. You know, you think about Rafters being able to down that Capital, buy them a bit of time. I must say, I think the add a bit of aggression there from Secret just stunned G2. G2 were not expecting the aggressive swing out of the breaches. That worked really well for them, and I think whenever G2 were just so confident they were going into all these engagements, whenever Secret just kind of changed that playstyle ever so slightly, then yeah, that's what happens. Now look at this. I've not seen a strip hold in quite a while. We're seeing reinforced walls, we're seeing nuke jammers. Obviously Savage on the Scopus because he will need to escape at some point, but I mean, this is an oldie but a goldie, Oscar.
I don't know if I like it, to be honest, but maybe it could work.
I guess it's one of the things, if you're on attack and you see something like this, it's fair to probably call it unexpected.
Yeah.
Right? Is it something where you think, oh, we need to focus on this, or will we just hold the rotate back via the sort of billiard store and the game store and be fine?
Well, I don't know, it's a 50-50. I'd prefer probably to avoid it.
Fair enough. We've sort of seen a back and forth of some teams like to apply themselves, and obviously Savage, if they're the one in the position with the Scopus, well, they've just left the shell there.
Yeah, and you look at the position that Alamau's in dirt very early on. They may try and avoid the roam game altogether and go direct into the bomb site. The only thing that's going to slow them down, of course, is going to be the Vulcan canisters, that Goyo to buy Secret a bit of time, and surely this is where they should be thinking about getting back to the bomb site.
It's a bit of a strange hold as well, obviously, because you've got Doom there over towards the door of Strip. He's actually the furthest over right now, outside of the shell itself. Savage is above, but in the meantime, Noah's holding the bar. They've got themselves very sort of over the site. There's only really two on the site itself, and I'm wondering if Adrian and Mowgli might be under a bit of pressure sooner rather than later, but it's an attempted run out, potentially, as it comes through, and they're just kind of making a statement here.
Yeah, I think it's not really sure where they want to go. Oh! Savage just about a foot. He maybe missed this opportunity, but just about gets there, and there's Loira ready with the pickup. Out on his own, in towards that top floor, gets that trade. Savage has been dealt with, but still there is that presence from Secret. Never mind, they went direct. Alamau is in, he's using that Blackbeard.
Well, that's it. As soon as they got the read, there was a bit of space. They're going to see if they can try and double down on it. They've got the two players inside the site. The site is now theirs, but Doom hits the floor, leaves just Noah alone in a 1 versus 4. Caught from the top of the hatch, almost catches the side of Loira, but they had the cross and the watch, and that moves G2 on towards map point.
That's the power of the G2 split. They're so split, it doesn't matter if they die, so another guy's playing. And he gets a trade, and then they roll over site.
I'm really surprised that Secret didn't think maybe we need to pull guys back. I mean, if the Blackbeard is inside of dirt popping all those canisters, that's where he's going to go. And you kind of need to support him. We know what shields are like. And one thing I will note, too, you think about Alamau's position. He's by himself. Like, I can assure you, there's plenty of times where we see a shield in dirt by himself, and then two guys run at him. And there's not a whole lot that you can do. That was an opportunity for Secret that they could have went for, but I think they were just so worried where else G2 were coming from. And that, again, like Oscar said, it's the power of that split theory that G2 like to implement. And again, it's that opportunity spotting, same as what we've seen during the last series for G2. They see just that little bit of a gap, and they flood everybody through. It doesn't matter the size, they'll go for it.
Wow.
10 seconds remaining.
6-4 on the map, and there's still a chance here for obviously Secret to pull it back. It's only 2 rounds. It's not a million miles away, and obviously with the sites that we found ourselves at rotating round on, I think Secret have a pretty clear choice. I think they can't go on towards one of them, but otherwise happy to go elsewhere. The full sort of stretch isn't really working for them, as you both pointed out. The split approach from G2, famed and often talked about for as many hours as Fresh would try to explain it to me, and I still wouldn't really understand it.
Not the Ying shotgun.
We've seen a lot of the Ying shotgun this event. Is it Is it meta? Can I ask that?
I think, no, I think every time I use a shotgun, it's like a pea shooter, and someone else shotguns me, it's like a sniper. So.
But they did say that about the English shotgun, is the more you believe in it, the
That's
better it
an old one.
works.
Yeah.
So now I guess it's the same with the Ing shotgun. We've seen some big moments of people just driving in towards the site, and we might be about to see another bit here. Alamau gets the breach open, and to be fair, if anyone wants to try and do it, Loira waiting for his moment.
You can even see the difference just with, you know, the ace and the thermite being removed, opening up those walls. It just slows the pace down ever so slightly. You're not getting those big openings. Habana obviously has to take her time, but it just feels like that 3-2-1 is going to come in for G2. You look at where Loira is propped up over towards the Logi hatch. We know where that's going to go.
Yeah, slowly made his way over and then sprinted back. They've decided they can't quite get it in. They're struggling with the sort of cash CC wall. And
Yes.
even there was the mute behind it, Noah's just playing against that. I think at the time, that's wasted. Mowgli's moved up to aggressively support. Savage is underneath. June's still on red. At what point here, Oscar, do you go, maybe we need to go elsewhere?
Well, they could use the Ing here.
Well, they can't anymore. You shouldn't have said that because now they're able to get a double kill here. Mowgli and June just drive forward and go for the retake. There goes Stompin'. Maybe they tried to cook for a little bit too long. Alamau, all that's left he's got behind them, but they know where he is and they're sort of watching and waiting and pre-firing on towards it. There's one. There's no more there, Demo.
Oh, round 11 secured. That means we go round 12, and still that timeout is there for G2, don't forget.
Okay, guys, master now basement. I think if they go basement, like we can do our triggers, okay? So like we should be fine. Like and then like if they go master, like let's try to
it's not master.
CC. Let's try to force the kills on master. Remember our new setup? So like we're gonna kill everybody if they hold there, we're gonna kill everybody there. Okay? And I think like if you go for Jin again, bro, let's do this cash boost fast, okay? Take them out, Cal, because they don't have flash, and go garage fast, take garage, like push like red.
Can go bottom red fast also.
So like let's like speed up this first step, okay? Let's kill them like, and let's everyone play for that, okay, guys? Bring EMPs also like fast for the Hibanas also, okay, guys? So open the mini hard bridge outside walls and use the Hibanas and the EMPs for the inside walls, okay? Let's go, guys. You got this.
I can put the EMP in the mounted in for G.
It's going to be a quick one.
They love their aggression.
Something that, I mean, G2 for the longest time that we've seen them play, especially with, you know, with Alamau on that side. I mean, the impact he had, and when we seen the way that G2 started playing, it was that kind of Brazilian-esque style where it is just 100 miles an hour. I don't think we've seen, it wasn't the same whenever obviously Fabian was in the coaching position, SI23, it's not the same, but I think now with Alamau and obviously the players, I mean, Loira was the big one, I think, to really make those plays happen and let that kind of play style just flourish inside of our league. I mean, look, you've played against G2 plenty of times. Like, it just make sure you're losing no gaps. You have to cover everything.
Yes, you're not looking at something, and the guy gets a 3K in your back. Like, what can you do?
Oh, here's a good question for Oscar. Loira or Stumpin'?
5 seconds left.
I think Loira is probably more enjoyable to watch, but you can't doubt Stompinn's ability.
You can't doubt the king.
Yeah, you can't doubt the king.
He's already, I mean,
got ace.
I think it's the first ace that you and I have actually been able to cast this whole time.
Yeah, I think other people have got them, but we've not. And we got the best one because it's this guy.
We did. We got the clip one. 6-5. 6-5 here, and as said before, only a single round could be the decider between us getting in towards an OT. There's been a lot of sort of quicker games earlier on in the day, a lot of 2-0s, and then we had a bit of a slow on the other stream, or the game before this even, on A stream with Americans, and well, Alamau.
Really good drone.
Seeing that.
That's not a wait. It may look like a wait, but it's not. And, oh, Loira! Oh, misses his opportunity. That would have been a belter of a kill, but no.
Sort of caught. Adrian's not a million miles away and wants to try and find the next fight, and instead going to get chased out. Obviously, he can try and just slip his way away. We heard the hatch be open. They could go for the drop. The Deimos will wait for the first ping, goes for the second. He's just going to play around a very narrow angle here, but they know about each other. Or just knows a little bit quicker here, Oscar.
I feel like he did not need to push into blue. Maybe a bit of panic there.
I think he didn't realize, you know, you've got soft walls and you're getting tracked. That Deimos pistol is obviously going to just rip through you. But there is still this extension in towards Jim and Bedroom at the moment that they're going to try and fight against.
Let's see if they can push their way up, but Doom knocks them right back down. There's a 4 versus 4. They've tried to lead as they continue, but at this point now they've just lost that Deimos and lost Loira and almost lost someone else, but Alamau can just make the connection. 4 versus 3, almost catching her as well, but Blaz is suffering in the same second. Mowgli went adventuring, couldn't quite get a reward, and instead just tucks his way back, but as soon as he crosses here, he's about to get caught by a drone as well. He's a very narrow position. He's going back and forth, but again, think of the sight.
The drone work is impeccable right now for G2. They know exactly where these secret players are. A great collapse as well from Blaz, and he's ready for a second, because again, the information is there. Look how clinical it is from G2.
Well, a 4 versus 1. Noah, with not much more health, is going to have to try and pull this one together. The plan is being secured. Gets the first. Doesn't want to get swung on by the second. And unfortunately can't prevent it. That is G2 winning. And Oscar, that was your first time casting. How was that?
It was very enjoyable. Well, it made it easy by 2 amazing people.
Thank you very, very much.
We've got praise.
We've got praise. And I'm sure G2 will be happy. You've been a bit of a lucky blessing for them here. They get to move on towards it, and we'll let you move on and enjoy the rest of your time in Paris. For now, we'll go to a quick break before we're back with map 2.
Joom, lower bracket run, map 1 is a loss, you put that behind you. What do you want to fix up in between these two maps to lock in for Consulate?
I think we had a slow start on Club, so we just need to keep it up with the momentum now and just play our game.
Fair enough. Anything more specific than that, maybe strategy-wise, that you might have?
Not really. I think we're better than them. We just need to show it.
Very good. Thank you very much, Jim. Thank you. Stompin, thank you for joining me. This is a lower bracket run for you and G2, yet you still are doing work. You're fired up. You're hitting shots like I haven't really seen before, Stompin. How do you keep that fire going?
I mean, just because we're lower bracket, you know, like, I feel like a lot of other teams would get pressure knowing, like, every game's an elimination game, but I think it, like, fires us up knowing every game's elimination, you know. We're locked in. All the other teams maybe are, like, nervous before the game, but we just play our game. Same thing for EWC, you know. We were in an elimination game against FaZe. We beat them, so I guess it just comes with confidence. And I never go into a game thinking like, wow, if we lose, I'm going home. You know, I kind of just play, so yeah.
You keep playing. I love it. Thank you very much.
He is Boy Wonder. He is Kid King. He is Stompin. I don't know what else needs to be said there, but ultimately G2 go 1-0 up in this series.
Yeah.
We did expect it, but ultimately not possibly the way we expect.
I mean, G2 fans, Rob, Leo, you need to say it with me right now. Thank you, King. Stompin. King.
Thank you, King.
Thank you, King. Look at this close though, by the way, how he changes positions in all of those engagements.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. And this was so smart. To play the Clash Shield, to play through the defuse, and then it's not just that. This is the third round that he wins them. When he is there, playing on the capital, wins the 1v2, including the 1v1 against Adrian. Now in a 7-5 game, in a close game, in a playoff game, in an elimination game, he wins them three rounds single-handedly.
That kid is magical.
Ridiculous.
He really is. He's a king. I will say this. I have not felt like this since Bolo, and I think it's not even comparable. Like, I don't think it's comparable. I think that the level of consistency from this guy, 18-year-old, by the way, 18-year-old, just let that sink in. The maturity in the way he plays, that ability to close rounds when he's alone, single-handedly carrying one of the biggest names in Europe, alongside major champions, alongside SI champions. To me, that screams special. I just hope that the rest of the team will follow up on this, because for the longest of times in that map, Stompin was the sole win condition of that roster.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to listen in for 2 seconds.
We can hear that through.
It's getting hyped for the B-stream. It's getting hyped there.
I'm too big for the solo shot to try and show what's going on. It's obviously popping off in the background, but I think ultimately, Jack, this is professionalism. This is just one of those things where, like, you know, it's a once-in-a-generation type talent.
Yeah.
And for them to be in that position, for them to be on the right team, for them to be in the right moment. But I think the thing I took away from his interview is the pressure does not affect him. And that for me, is probably the most scary part.
Yeah, he's just a kid that loves playing Rainbow Six Siege. And he's played it his whole life at this point now. And it doesn't faze him. Every game is just another game to him. And I think alongside the IGL, alongside his team, when their back is up against the wall, they find a way to level up. And he's just unflappable. And he was the one that got them through this one.
Well, everyone's in the server. Everyone is ready. It is time for us to get underway with map 2. Let's head to Consulate.
Well, that's the first locked in, and now we'll see if this turns into a 3 series. You all generally think this is going to be a G2 pushback, lock down and move on, and it'll just be another team. But, well, first, one more map, Consulate. So, demo. G2 were able to take that first one and get themselves locked in, but that starts to raise the question of how do you think it will go here on Consulate?
Oh, well, I mean, that makes things very interesting because G2 were able to break the pick of Secret, and now G2 get to go on the map that they have selected, being Consulate, and now Consulate. This is a great map for G2. Nobody ever really lets them play it because they're so darn good on it. I mean, the last time they played it, you're looking at a good old while ago, all the way back on the 8th of November. That's how far back we have to dig. And that was up against KAG back then, and they won that map 7-5. And One thing I've noticed about G2, and really if you look at the past 3 times that they've played it, they've always been able to get a 5-1 split in the defense. Like, their defensive stats are incredible.
Yeah, it's sort of the setup of a team where sometimes we talked about the power of their attacking, we've talked about how well they can do on that side, but, you know, when you get the nitty-gritty, when you sort of dig down into the details, they have that other half to their game. They have that other lockdown. And now they obviously get that pressure of starting on their attack, but prepping themselves up for success. A beautiful flag. We've seen the Dutch flag, right? That's...
I wouldn't say that here.
I'm just hoping I start an argument in the green room between Leo and Anne. If they start throwing it. It's obviously the French flag. Gang, I know it. I've looked at a map before and walked down the street and Liberté and other things that mean I won't get thrown out of the country.
Joan of Arc.
Hey, French things.
Eiffel Tower.
Croissant. What we don't have here is Valkyrie and Solus here, demo of the bands.
Yeah, information operators.
Yeah.
Straight out of there for G2, not wanting to deal with obviously Valkyrie and the information she can provide with the cameras, but then we know Solus is a very good operator whenever you think about the verticality that there is inside of this map. Especially when we get to kind of piano bombs like that mid-floor. Plenty of times we see a Solus just sit upstairs and just hold above using the verts and stopping anyone from going for the plant. So in terms of planting, I think G2, it'll be there for them. You know, there's a big possibility that there could be a good number of plants going down.
Holding, waiting and hoping. Stompin, who had such a strong first map, might be the lead-in, but instead, oh, it's Doom. Checking the main man out of the front of the reception desk. And there it goes, Alamau. That's your buck underneath. That's that operator removed who can try and cause all those vertical problems. That's the person who can sort of stretch the width of the bomb site and things a little bit pressured, and that means that verticality will fall away. But Noah, I think the side of a grenade there, gets downed around. They still have the protection of being swung on. Savage is there in a position to just keep putting this threat, and as soon as they put their head round, that's gonna happen. Sort of just fed into the double side. Adrian's gonna get the pickup. Mowgli has the cross onto one. Loira gets 2, but Mowgli being leveled levels things up. Loira will have to ace this one out and can't even get back to reload his guns.
Oh, almost for Loira. Tried to make it back to yellow and just try and cool things down, but they didn't even allow that. Again, it's the trade game is so important in a series like this, and Secret did a fantastic job at that, making sure that they always keep numbers in their advantage. Now, look, don't forget, I mean, we've mentioned it, it is a defender-sided map, so certainly Secret on the preferred side of things. We know G2, how good they are in the defense, their time will come, but really for G2, it's how many attacks can you get, and Loira, good amount of opportunity spotting, but just could not break through. I will say, not a massive amount of util in the lineup of G2 there. I mean, he didn't really bring the traditional operators that we're kind of used to seeing. I mean, again, that comes back to the bans for Secret. I think you look at that top floor, trying to kind of maneuver in towards yellow without your Grim, without your Ying, it's tough. So maybe they should have looked at other operators that could have had the same effect of a util dump. You know, you look at your Capitao. Even I think Lion's a great map. You know, Lion's great in this map in terms of what he can achieve. You know, with the long DMR, can hold onto the angles, can play the windows whenever you're going for those 3-2-1 little clear outs. You make them stop, you make them stand still. I mean, there's options there for G2, but certainly the first round wouldn't get too caught up in it.
Now, when these two teams met in the league finals back in December, this map was actually the potential decider. This was the third that they could have come to, but we didn't quite get to see it because G2 sort of dispatched Secret in pretty strong fashion. 2-0, and as we sort of talked about the long history between these two teams, it's generally leaning in towards G2's favor recently. I think it's a 6 or a 7-2 in towards their strength. So at this point, they've obviously got now the step up, and for all the conversations about Secret worrying when they go up against Falcons, maybe G2 are just that other Secret problem child that keeps poking their head up and ruining their dreams. Here's about to be Doom, surrounded. The man of so many moments might be about to be cut in half on the side. They've obviously got themselves propped up. It's Loira, the Deimos, not too far away, and at this point they just want to make sure that they don't get caught out by the track, but as soon as the reveal comes out, these two players very happy in the 1 versus 1 slip their way by. get themselves back closer towards the side itself. But Droom and Loira are still just holding each other down on the other side of the map.
Just about, yeah, gets out of there, Droom. Oh. Somebody was breathing down his neck and just about gets out of dodge, and slowly now the peel begins. Again for G2, they've established that map control over towards Tellers right now, and just see if they can try and kind of stem the push coming in towards that side. However, Mowgli is kind of lurking around bottom spiral for quite a while, able to pick up Loira. Now that means Alaman all by himself. Look at this from Mowgli. Oh, what a jump out. Stumpin completely caught by surprise. Alaman was there with the obvious trade, but still the damage has been done. Mowgli good for 2.
Didn't really expect it there, and would you? That point went so far. Alaman was able to de-shield and get the catch on the split, but now, as soon as he goes for this pitch, there's a player behind him. He's got to make sure he keeps the pressure hot. Unfortunately, he's found nobody but Adrian. Pops his way around the corner. Blaz does find Doom for the 2 versus 3. 50 seconds, and now it is only Doki left. He's going to see if he can isolate the one man that's stuck in the corner, but nobody's swinging on the back of it. Goes for the cross, but the cross had him. Secret. 2 rounds.
Good hold from Secret. I mean, Mowgli obviously with the play. A quick little jump out. Take down that player towards bench window, who's obviously there to cut off the crosses. You can open up in towards that reinforced wall. So eliminating that player helped them out quite a bit in the long term. So G2, that is 2 rounds that has not went in their favor, but still plenty more to go. I will say, I wonder if Romalio uses timeout if things get any worse for G2, because I mean, again, for Romalio, we know he's very specific in his timeouts, where he will use them to call strategies more of the analytical side, rather than, you know, if you compare that to Fabian per se, where it's more about the mental game.
Maybe not Fabian's earlier today.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, well, Fabian was more, well, you guys got yourself into this mess, you know, and I think that was kind of the tone, wasn't it, that we seen from M80 earlier?
Yeah, I mean, it was a sort of different approach towards things, and, well, T2 have got to prove that pushing on is something they can keep doing. Said first 2 rounds gone. Now, the decider is Bank. Entirely biased, as I always am. I want to get there. I want to see a 3rd map, and I want to see all the pressure and stress that can come with it, and that might start here. On the trade back and forth. Just been shown an update from the other stream. If you don't want to know how things are going on B and who else has just been eliminated, cover your ears. Flukezo 1, OXG are
I didn't cover my ears. I didn't want to hear that. You've ruined it for me.
Paris.
What the heck?
I'm sorry, I'm leaving. Good luck. You're by yourself.
Here we go. It's the demo show ready to take over. And speaking of a big show, that was almost a big old C4. Alamau down to half HP. But still alive. And you can see it's a very direct take coming in from that Secret side. In through the wall. And well, G2, they have got a foothold. Now for Secret, how do they want to try and combat against that? Obviously, you're playing that side hoping that you would have the kind of below to above kind of C4s, but maybe they're gonna have to use the C4s, you know, horizontally onto the Monte.
Well, I'm back and here just to tell you in time, Mowgli is having a great map. Gets himself the open once again and starting to really feel the fight and the fury. You can see the pings on towards the Monty position, but Noah with the pulse doesn't want to cross the divide, doesn't want to be caught out and still has a C4 to utilize if need be, but need be seems to be, oh no, where are we and where are they as they're drifting around? G2 desperately heads up, seeing where the sort of catch and the problem might be. Noah's now got himself tucked in and Mowgli tucks another one out. Stomp it, gone. There's 2 more. There's the safety and the catch from below. They're just going to try and charge the Monty here. Why not? Get him either side. You can see the surround. Someone goes down. Adrian's caught out, and so does June, but now it's just Blaz left standing. Lawyer was found out. They know exactly where he is because the default was still up, and they should be able to at least get Lawyer back to his feet at 3 versus 2.
Yeah, the issue is it's the kit. Nowhere near them. They're going to have to try and fight against the 2 players who have stacked up on said diffuser, and now Mowgli even taking the more aggressive stance, and whenever he is in the flow state, This is the confidence that he has. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, he's going to go for the jump out. Going to go for the kill, and he gets it. And this is where Mowgli is at his most dangerous. We have seen this man just control a game, just control the entire map.
Yeah, I mean, as I said it before at the start of the round, got himself his opener, gets himself sort of going, and since then hasn't really decided to stop. 8 kills, I think, no deaths currently, and I think that was just the 1 assist, but we'll find out in just a second. Either way, great control of the intel game as well. G2 look a bit lost, even though we talked about their bans being the limitation. Secret have been so mobile and seemingly just on top of it all. Ooh.
My time. Guys, look, guys. I think for CO, guys, I think we just change our base here and try to chase the kills in admin, okay? So you play for long dash controls, para push after, and have both shields open, okay? I want if it's possible, play both shields. See if they don't have traps, we can play Monty and Blackbeard, okay, guys? So it's gonna be so strong. We're gonna take long dash, and then after the Monty can go cross and plant gate door, okay? And for the basement bomb side, guys, I want to try more split, okay? Because they are overreact a lot. So if you count, we can also go above, okay? The basement, they didn't play, but I'm talking also for piano, and also if they go tell us again, it's good if you do a backstep garage, okay? You either 3-2 or something like this.
Okay. I was gonna play for the kills a bit.
For the CO, talk about what the operators are gonna play, just a boost the shields if possible, okay, guys?
You want me to play the money spiral?
Again, very specific in how Alamau kind of has to listen to what he's being told by Romalio. You know, that all that information, it's going to be for Alamau how he's going to have to IGL these rounds, because we know just so much of G2, it kind of funnels through him, isn't it? He's the kind of cylinder that everything has to run through. And, you know, Romalio, again, you hear the way he broke it down. Bring this, bring that, go here, go there. That's what it's about. And again, it's up for Alamau to take all that information in and call appropriately. I mean, we heard, I think he was calling for double shields, wasn't it? I think the Blackbeard and the Monty. Just the Monty.
Just the Monty?
Not the Blackbeard.
There's still 10 seconds.
There is. I mean, it sounded like an admin take anyway. That's what it felt like.
Yeah. Get yourself in, get yourself across. Remember last time they tried to go for a pinch on yellow, things fell apart, and then they kept sacrificing people on towards the corner that didn't quite come to a success story here. Secret, solid holds. Continue themselves set up. They've used the timeout. It was a similar sort of story in the first game, but at that point, Secret had actually got around before they used their timeout, and even then, they were just one off being able to pull it together here. A 3-0 sweep, all the sites locked in by Secret. They know they can try and do it again, get themselves locked in. They need to start trying to shake things up here. Now, there isn't currently anyone holding on towards the vending machine, that long corridor, but obviously if Mowgli can get himself out of there, get the keepers down, he can hold on towards that territory and terrain for as long as he wants. To be fair, when he's 8-1, why not keep going? Instead, why not double up? Doom's here to help. They've done some damage towards Blaz, on towards the window, and just waiting and sort of wasting utility on the approach here, Demo.
Minute gone. No pick as of yet, but Mowgli maybe in the hot seat, but a util comes towards them. But all quiet at the moment. Selma trying to make that entrance, but no! Surely it's got to be the Mistron, because there's no way you'd swing into that if you thought that was clear. Wow, I mean, again for Mowgli, just everything's going his way today.
As I said, it feels like the intel game was there, and well, apart from that bit, but all right, Stumpin', we all make mistakes. At this point, whether it was a Mistron, I mean, you could see the positioning of Doom, right? Doom stepped up, drew attention with the C4, peeled back via the coffin side, and suddenly they were just beelined onto one by knocked out, swings around with the pistol and hopes for the best, but, well, one shield hasn't quite worked. Maybe two later on. Mowgli finds himself one more for the round, and Doki just keep tacking him to his tally. Mowgli, one of the strongest sets of 4 opening rounds I think we've seen from anybody throughout this tournament so far.
Still more to come. I think that's the scary thing. Whew. He is electric right now. G2 didn't even get an opportunity to set up. That's how quick they got picked one by one. It's that timeout, that call we heard for that top floor. Just gone. Dissolves. Now for G2, where do you go? And yes, we've kind of said G2, fantastic whenever it comes to Consulate, whenever it comes to defending this map. The way it's going, And momentum is also one thing we have to mention.
Yeah.
You know, that's where stats kind of go out the window if somebody's just on a heater, and that's kind of where Mowgli is right now. So even if G2 get to that defensive half, who's to say that they may only get one opportunity for a slip-up? It could be a 6-0 half the way we're going.
So,
10 seconds to
the
go.
start, as they mean to continue, Mowgli rallied. We sort of had a brief conversation about this, Dusker on the previous one, about needing vocal players from your team, and he has been that. For this roster, he's been able to find his lungs, and boy, he loves shouting about it, gets himself in. Rallies everybody around him. It's do or die at this point. Doesn't matter how well you've played, one slip-up can send you to the lower bracket, and then from then, you're fighting every single game. Every single step of the way is one that has to be well-paced and placed, and at this point, played, as they're already one map down on the back foot. They sort of didn't really expect Club, but, well, they probably didn't expect to lose it too.
And then we had the Consulate as well, and again, we've mentioned Secret. Haven't really played it all too often over the past 6 months or so. But certainly for G2, it's a map that just constantly gets banned against them. Nobody wants to take G2 the Consulate. And some people are probably sitting there thinking, but why? They're losing for it, but why?
Well, we'll probably find out in the second half, but Adamau might be finding out immediately that he's not welcome here towards the top of yellow. The drop on the drone, the pull back, you can see the pinch position. They're happy to just keep swinging out and putting pressure on towards it, but well, nothing can really lead in. They know the pings. Look how aggressive Secret are still being as well. They're sort of happy to make the statement. Here's some support coming through. They didn't quite get the bite of Noah, but they're still going to try and move in. Bit of damage done towards the shoulder of Doki, but the C4 of Adrian from below finishes off the tip of the spear, and why not snap the rest of the stick as well here, Demo? 5 versus 3. Loira, well, no Loira, just stomping and Plaz. And I mean, G2, the timeout already taken, and they're about to be on the wrong side of a 5-0.
Yeah, it's the same thing again for G2. They just cannot formulate the attack. It never really gets going. Secret just locking it out immediately, and just no kills coming from the side of G2. And Stompin' and Blaz. This is a big old uphill battle that they have to go against. No real info either. I mean, they're pretty separated too. No real opportunities for a trade game. They just have to try and land their shots, and nobody from G2 has really been doing that in this map.
Well, Noah gets the catch on towards Stompin', and Blaz left alone. He was handed a clutch earlier, and surely not again, but there's at least the first, and I've got to cast it like it's always possible, because to be fair, as we've seen, it always is. But with a single C4 and with none of them opting towards the fight, it seems like it's more just time to talk. And Secret, time for 5 rounds unanswered.
Yeah, a really good half already for Secret. I mean, 5-1 on the defense. It's great, and still the opportunity for a 6-0, and there is no reason for us to not believe that it can go that way.
Oh, yeah.
G2, it's been a very poor attacking half, and I mean, Mowgli, look at that EPS. Woo! 2-3-5. Oh.
So, we're being beamed a message by our analysts on the telestrator, and we're getting gestures. It's almost like charades right now. It's like I'm really getting mine. About 7 words. I won't say what analyst said it. All they're doing, Demo, is throwing bodies at them. And they're still... I don't know why they can't just... Okay. And they're just isolated. And maybe this is a point that I'm making. Maybe it's from our brilliant analysts, and I'm sure they'll...
I can't let you take credit. Sorry, the jig is up.
The jig is up. It's Leo is showing us how things can come together. And now,
I really hope the telestrator camera is recording what he's done, because he has basically just became a mime.
It was beautiful, but it's very, very true. The problem is, Damo, they're being isolated.
Yeah, I mean, Leo makes the point that they're throwing bodies at it, and I think that has kind of been the mentality today, it feels like, for G2 in both of their series. They have been very gung-ho, and this is the other end of the shoe. If things are not going well for you, if they're not getting the kills, this is what happens. because you feel, oh, my teammate didn't get the kill, I'll go get it instead. But then you die, and then the next guy has to go, and the next guy, and the next guy.
Well, there's a guy that gets a kill, Lawyer, as he tried to enter in towards Visa. Unfortunately, denied. Back out the door you go. You have to try again later.
It's a no from me.
It's a no from, I think, anyone of Secret as well, to get themselves now into the 5 versus 4 versus 4. Noah has been caught. Alamau's been able to get a trade out. He gets in the building, but Astoki suffers. Next, there's Doom getting the spray down. There's Savage getting on towards Stompin'. And hey, maybe Leo is onto something, being isolated.
Jumping in a window. Nobody in the vicinity. No teammates working together, just feeding the kills over to Secret. And this looks to be a nailed-on conclusion. It's going to be the 6-0 unless Alamau and Blaz can make things happen. Alamau on the Ash. The information just is not with him. He's holding on to angles that we can see that there's nobody there. It's a ghost. Just not wanting to kind of go for that swing in towards Spiral Stairs. Adrian just holds firm, and Alamau, he just has to sit there and wait, but he's lost the Blaz now. This is where everyone can just start coming back to site if they want to, but really if you're Secret, why would you do that? Go and get your kill. G2 are ripe for the picking. Mowgli is on 14 kills, maybe 15, no! Alamau puts an end to that. He has 3 more to find. No diffuser in hand, it's currently outside the main breach. So he just has to try and play for the kills. There's info on him. Secret know everything.
I mean, he's hoping. He's got a ping, and he might be able to isolate at least this engagement, but the chances plant, right? And as he fires one side, fires the other, he can't quite get it nailed on. Look at the verticality, and there's someone to his right down the corridor as well. That is a flawless half. And this brings me actually to a fun moment that I'm going to say loud enough for analysts to maybe have a look at it as well. Every time these two teams have met in a best of 3, the middle map, regardless of how it goes, is very often a 7-1 or a 7-2. It's a weird trend that seems to happen between these two teams where this sort of break in the action, regardless of whether it's a 2-1 series or not, just seems to be it. It's sort of the energy, the transference. I don't think any of them on the middle map of the best of 3s have got beyond 3 rounds for a long, long time. Nothing that I can see as my sort of quick glance, but that's why I like to say it loud enough, because analysts have a lot more data than I usually do to hand. The only data we really need right now, Demo, G2, they have to be flawless.
And they don't have a timeout to help them in any way, apart from the little kind of prep talk that Alamau will deliver as we were getting into those bans. Looking at the bans, it's the shields have been targeted. Secret have lost the Blitz, and they've lost the Blackbeard for this half. Still, though, Monty is always an option for them, so we know that Secret, they love a shield, and thankfully there is 4 of them. Can't ban them all.
Yep. It's been great connectivity here from the side of Secret as well on their defense. Obviously, everything seems to have an answer.
It's the best way to respond after losing that first map.
Oh,
straight in, get the job done, take it to the decider, which, as we know, Secret on Bank, the win streak, that's on the line here today.
Yeah. There's always obviously the sad side of this is, you know, we can sort of talk about the positives, and, well, we did between the sides, Stompin' being +10 on the first map, and now he's actually level, I think, or close to across the whole series. He's really struggled. He's that far away. I say +10, and then I see he's at 0 and 6. I'm really bad at maths this late on in the day. He's not quite level yet. Obviously, there's still 4 in it, but I mean, with this rate, probably hoping to try and find his first here on defense. Get himself led in. In the meantime, Mowgli, 14-3 after going negative in the first map, has just pulled the performance out of thin air.
They need 6 in a row. Secret were able to do it. Can G2 match that? That's the question. I mean, you look at the kills, it's just not favorable. Stompin' and Doki. 0-6 halves for them. That's not what you want. They need a big old half if they want to get their team back into the swing of things. And Jum, again, on the trusted buck roll. He's down here hunting for those vertical picks. He's going to try and open up the hatch. think he's missed his opportunity though, as Loira on the Bandit slowly peels his way back. Not going to be in contention for dying through that buck. So steady as she goes at the moment here, Ami, but I'm sure the action will get heated up as we move on.
I think that's it, right? We talk about that long corridor along the top floor, so just keep a long watch. At a C4, unfortunately, longly watch does it's not really able to have an impact. And this is that corridor they've peeled themselves back towards. They've already wasted a minute and a half just on the side of admin.
You can just see how many bodies, again, G2 are putting up against Secret, and that hasn't really worked for them, though. That's the worry. They haven't been able to get these kills whenever they've been trying to match man for man up against Secret. And Mowgli slips his way up, takes just immediate control. Oh, and what a big look at who he's been able to take out. I was going to mention about the time that you said. Tachanka, you've got rid of the big issue, the glaring issue for Secret was how were you going to get through those Molotovs? There you go, Mowgli steps up and just kills them.
They do get Buck in the meantime, so they've at least limited the vertical pressure, but here, get rid of that. The breach will open at some point. There's obviously still one canister, but... Oh, you're pointing, you are aggressive. What are you seeing?
This is a great retake position here from Loira. Don't forget, Mowgli had already swept through the corridor, had cleared that, and now Loira puts himself into a position where if he doesn't get droned, Secret may not be ready for this. They may not expect that vending player to be there.
He goes for the deep flashes on towards the swing from the reception desk. This is going to be that pressure, and how aware are they? Quite aware as the first falls, but Alamau battles back, and there's Loira popping in and can't quite get to Mowgli. Still putting the pressure on, almost catches another, but 10 seconds, it's 2 versus 2 and no kit. They're going to see if they can try and take this to the firing line. Noah sitting, watching, waiting, commiserating a loss as a pistol tries to drive its way across. There's going to be a swing round either side. Can't quite get it in time. Does find one for his trouble, but one still remains.
There's one. We need 5. Still a big ask for G2, but at least they get it started. Great retake position. I have to highlight Loira again. Going in towards vending. Nobody had any idea he was here. Savage, that was quite the shock. And then they just stay alive and run down that clock.
Let's go, guys! One by one, round by round, let's go!
Hear that from Romalio, one by one, brick by brick.
Round by round, step by step, similar thing to what Oscar said on the first map, where sometimes you just got to take it. A single bit by a single bit, and it all starts a journey of 1,000 miles, etc. The thing is, and the problem and the worry is, they just need 1 second, right? They only really need to get lucky once. They only really need to get a tertiary site. They need to push you away, and for how close it got, to be fair, how much of it was Mowgli? Swings in, gets the first kill, 17-3.
7 rounds, by the way, just to let you know. 2 KPR, nuts.
Yeah, that's a pretty good inning, and I don't think it's quite stopped just yet.
If you're Mowgli, you want the OT, you want to get the kill record, maybe. I mean, that would be great for him, but I think for Mowgli, just get the map under your belt, move on to Bank. He's not too fussed about the kill records.
Drones up and running.
In the meantime, recorded kills, we mean Stompin and Doki have been able to get themselves off of that fabled goose egg and start to see if there's a bit of gold inside. And here, ooh, a narrow line for Doom on the opening fight. It's Erase going against this army. It's kind of nobody you want to immediately lose, but you think about the site, it's not going to be the biggest loss unless you're trying to get, obviously, Bench's wall open and the pressure here from the swing round. They're going to instead cut their way across towards the seeding room, towards that waiting room, and dig elsewhere. Doom rotates underneath, and Secret do that game where they love to sort of prod from multiple different angles, Demo.
Yeah. Just looking at their options. Much more slow kind of approach here from Secret compared to a Sports way G2 attack the map where it was just flying in through windows as fast as they can.
Oh, I remember Leo's acting.
So, Secret. Just need the 1 round, but sometimes that's the most difficult. Is the final one. Savage, I think, in a great position here in towards Spiral, but he has to wait for his teammates to support him before he makes that maneuver in towards the front desk. Doki, though, will go aggressive onto Savage and takes the kill.
It's the first time G2 have been able to get that opening kill throughout the entirety of this map, and Well, it comes against a perfect time. There goes Savage, there goes Doom, and Mowgli might be about to pop off. Blaz finally finds a way to end around without him getting a kill, but Noah is at least there to get some revenge. However, the reception desk is not very welcoming, and well, he might want to turn around and leave. There is obviously a bit of a down done on towards Loira. He's back up and in a 4 versus 1 with full awareness on where Noah is. And fine, he has a little bit of utility, but he has a lot to try and smash his way through. And no kit. You can see the sort of rebuild here. The positions G2 getting themselves in trade situations, getting themselves covered. They still have the verticality.
Wow.
Oh, they
Great
also
shot.
have the round 2.
And from Alamau, connects that. Hipfire one tapped. From Doki. Didn't see it.
Didn't see it. We'll believe.
We'll take his word for it.
We'll take his word. What we'll take is another timeout. This time secret.
Let's go a little bit into meta game right there, guys. As it probably will be basement right now. We can use this timeout just to bait them that we are talking about some rush and actually just trying to bait them that we are doing it, and just take the top floor a little bit faster, like the top floor, and then just work the round around that. I think it would be good because right now, if we are baiting them onto playing aggressive, as they are extra reactive, it's the time that they will be trying to play more onto words or try to be a little bit more cheesing to that, and we can pick up the skills. To remember, as they are playing aggressive like that, there will be opening gaps that we can use it in this very early round. After that, just slow as you guys are doing, step by step. It's good. Okay.
I mean, we just need to follow. We just follow the game plan, and it's fine. Like for basement, if they do the turtle, we got the full clear.
Did you notice that? Straight away from Twister. The big brain.
You love it.
Using the timeout to make G2 think that they're going to just call a strat, make it happen, get the round win.
Yep.
Twister's not worried. Twister thinks we're playing fine. Step by step's working well. We're just using that to try and throw them off the game.
And it's something that Secret do as well, right? It's something that Secret often sort of step up is they'll call a timeout. They'll call themselves the situation and go for a rush and sort of playing that metagame level, as you put it, and saying they'll think that we're doing this, we're 6-2, they'll think we're panicking, we're not. Just keep it steady. Look for our sort of baited fake rush. Let's give them this element. And then let's punish them for daring to think we would fall for their trap. The most cunning ruse of all. God, I love it.
Well, let's see if it pays off for them. We head in towards that basement now. And naturally, whenever you've kind of went through that whole rotation, G2 know it's going to have to be that basement. This is where the mind games, hopefully, will play through them in the bomb peak. Oh! Alamau! And look who he's been able to knock off. Mowgli! The man of the hour.
Rotates his way up yellow stairs. Unfortunately, they sort of called it and weren't quite ready for it. G2, whenever there's a timeout, they'll try and step themselves up aggressively there, held the windows, and maybe they're about to find another fight here. The angle is long range from Loira with a boss G that can absolutely cause calamity. So instead, Doom is going to hold and wait. Moving through the beepers, baits the sound, but not quite swung on as of yet. Instead, the players have left, and Adrian gets the pinch on towards Doki, and suddenly it's all popping up Secret. Alamau and Stompin now, all holding on towards G2's hope of locking this off in just 2 maps. But as they drive and thrive their way in, Demo, the smoke will buy a second.
Yeah, but it's only just going to buy a little bit of time. Look at the clock. Less than 2 minutes, which is just so much time, and Alamau tries to make the play, but Noah is there to stop it.
Well, the man who defined the first map has to try and define maybe one of the best clutches of the tournament. A 1 versus 4 against Secret on Consulate. And the Secret seem to be a play and a bait of we know what you're thinking, we're thinking further thoughts, and those are, we want to lock this one off right now. Secret bounce back from disappointment on map 1 to a very strong map 2. And 3 will be the story to see who continues on, Demo.
Yeah, and the third map is Bank, and that is, as far as we're aware, Europe's map. We know how good our region is in that map, and with these 2 teams playing it, oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. Off to Bank after a blink.
absolutely outrageous. There's no other way to put what we have just seen. Secret goes 6-0 up in the first half, looking so convincing. By God, a complete turnaround after Clubhouse.
Yeah.
It is just incredible, Jack.
Well, we know G2 have some heavy hitters, but so do Team Secret. It's the beauty of our teams inside of the European region. They're aggressive, they're confident, and of course there's one person that we need to talk about. That person is Mowgli. He was absolutely sensational. Some of the things that he was trying inside of this half was audacious. They were outrageous. Look at these kills, 2 of them outside the building on Consulate, which isn't something that you always see. And I think the game plan from Team Secret was perfect. They know G2 like to play split, whichever map they're on. So what are they going to do? They're going to double up, triple up on the points of entry, play together and isolate those picks, Leo.
I just feel like I'm watching a Frag movie. It's the Mowgli that we know and love. It's the Mowgli that will take risk, and when it pays off, it pays off. Every single defense, by the way, is an opening kill for Secret. None of them were traded. All the way, the spearhead for Secret is Mowgli. He's the one that will get aggressive and get that. That's why his play style fits so well with Team Secret. What a way to punish G2. And what a way to come back after Munich. On your right side, you have his performance in Munich.
Yeah.
He was the worst rated player of the roster. He was struggling, -25 in KD. And if you look on the left of your screen, you've got Mowgli here during this map. And by the way, at the event, he is the best rated player for Team Secret. Something happened during this offseason. Something happened. Between Munich and now, he figured out how to be aggressive, but also how to be consistent with it.
That is an astronomical EPS that he's just achieved. Like, that was, you know, we talked about Doom having life games. That was a life game from Mowgli.
I actually have a fun stat for you. KZ currently tops the charts at 199 EPS. Until the final round where he got spawn killed, Mowgli was at 210 EPS for the entire map. But unfortunately, that does not unfold the way we wanted to. He's not the greatest player in a single map at the tournament yet. However, we move to a third and final map. And this one is big. This one is Bank. I don't know what to think of this.
Honestly, Bank has been for the longest of times the home turf of Europe.
Yeah.
And just to say this, obviously we all know G2 took down the incredible win streak of Falcons on that map. And by the way, thanks to a stomp and ace on the last round. But most importantly, the real kings of Bank, Team Secret. 16 win streak on the map. They have not lost it the entire season. It would be a first for them to fall to anyone on that map this season.
So you're telling me 16 straight. Elimination match. What can G2 do?
They need a savior.
And his name is Stompin'. It's as simple as that. He was so good in map 1, they really need him to step up in map 2. He had a rough he had a rough Consulate. There's no way around this. But the one thing that we said about Stompin', his big strength from map 1 was that he's unfazed in any scenario. He will not even be thinking about map 2 whatsoever. He's just going into this as a fresh one.
What I will say is the context are very simple. Either G2 win this and go through, or Team Secret keep their streak going and make it to 17-0. It's time to decide the fate of Europe.
It all comes down to this. And where else would you rather be? Oh, and how narrow it is to mine eyes see of a story of G2 versus Team Secret E. It is Bank. It is EML's home, and it is one map. Let's get into it. I want this to be the best game I've seen in a very long time. I've seen a lot of great games, Demo. You and I both.
We've seen the G2 Falcons game that they mentioned where they took down the streak. We were there.
We were there.
You seen an ace from the king? You seen an ace from the king today?
We were there. Will we get to say that?
Just lightning strike twice.
For ending a streak that's lasted over the year.
Yeah, I think actually, Leo, I think you've downplayed that. It's over the year for Secret, not the season. It's the year that we have to look at for Secret and how darn good they have been on that map. But we have to give credit to G2 as well. Again, phenomenal on their day on that map too. I mean, what do we do?
we, my fine friend, sit back, watch, and enjoy what hopefully is a worthwhile map, because ultimately, may I remind you all, one of these two teams, their journey ends at the end of this. Team Secret or G2 will have their SI Paris dreams shot down before they've even begun to hit the main stage. And it has to happen
10 seconds remaining.
So, with these bands, with this tale set up, and with history ready to be written as has been put across all the beautiful boards here in Paris, let's see who's got the position for a 2026 to remember. G2 will be starting on their defense. They'll be starting themselves on a side that generically they've, I think, found more problem with. They've generally been a bit sharper on their attack, but it is bank, so a lot of teams often are. One of the big tells of this demo that I'm curious about is the entry statistic. Both teams actually positive for it generally on this map, and great at converting it even more so.
Good drone placement from Jum. He's on that glass, and he wants to try and get himself in towards Garage. We know how strong a position this can be for the attacker's going to use the smoke grenade to kind of give him that advantage, that head-up gunplay up against Blaz. He will tag him ever so slightly. And for Blaz, can he get out of there? No, the leg! Oh, down goes Blaz! The sniper rifle connects.
Well, when I'll talk about that Secret, when they get the opener, it's an 88%.
And straight away from Doki, they've lost Garage, reinforce that wall.
Yeah, let's not try and play that game. Let's get it locked in and make sure that nothing else is slipping on its way through, obviously. You got the stretch above the main two floors here. They're getting the clear down. G2's pulled themselves back. They're not going to go too exploratory. You've got a lot of stairs you can lock down. You've got blue and you've got operators to make it happen, obviously. Stomping, though, likes to sort of go against the grain, and he's snuck his way up main, and he can hear the drone rolling out, but how confident is he that he hasn't been caught by it? He's about to find the first engagement. He waits and baits and removes just one. Mowgli. Massively important reaction there to ensure that didn't get any worse for wear, and now, as you can start to see, the pressure is boiling its way underneath.
Yeah, good trade. Really good trade for Mowgli. If that was a double kill for Stompin, that would have been a disaster for Team Secret. Now, the next step. How do we clear out the player in behind the server rack? They're going to do that with the Grims. They will spot out Doki, but he can make his own cover, using the keeper barrier, fortifying this position, looking for swings as well. But he's just going to sit and wait. They have to push him, don't forget.
They have to, and he's just turning this into a bit of a bunker. And the 4 versus 3, as long as he can keep it, as long as he can. When you look at the Goyo on the door, and they waste time, and players Doom caught out by the swing, and look, you can see Secret, I'm not going to say panicking, but starting to try and put the pedal to the metal and hope they don't get caught in a crossfire, because G2 so rapid going for those swings, and the width is something they enjoy, but Noah enjoys killing Doki. 3 versus 2. 20 seconds, and the fire starts to pop alongside the smoke itself. They're swinging their way around on the rotate on towards the hatches itself, and you can see G2, they're trying to work out exactly where the kit is going planted. It's over the top towards main stairs. They're going to try and go full sprint, full send, and full to the back, but they were ready for it. Lyra! All 3 is a delicious feast for the demon.
A huge round for G2. Up against it, but the time being G2's 6th man. Secret spent so long dealing with Doki. That was the problem, was how long it took them to clear him out. I mean, Doki also did a phenomenal job. We'll see the kill hopefully here in a minute. This kill right here. Big to pick off Jum. And then just no time. The Goyos, the smokes. Just look at that bomb site, by the way. Plagues of Egypt have invaded into Mike.
There is that late night heat and fire you want. You asked for demon time early on. Might be starting to clock in. Obviously, if you missed the opening game of the day, the reason G2 is still fighting, this is their 2nd series to play out today. They've already dispatched one of the biggest opponents in M80, the recent major champions. So what else? Demo, what else on that tally is Somebody else who's been able to lift a big prize this year. Imagine walking into that gladiatorial arena with so many other people's belts around your waist.
And don't forget FaZe as well was also knocked off prior to that, so they are collecting everyone. I mean, they need Fury and X. That would be ideal for them, and then they've really got everyone who's had a trophy this year. G2, how will they fare now in towards this top floor? Now, Savage on that shield. We know the power that he can make with it. He's using it currently to get a bit of information over towards the window. A big C4, but hits the barricade, and Savage is fine and dandy. He's got the nades too. Looks as though they might try and stem a little bit of pressure in towards Spiral and in through lobby, but these walls being electrified. That's a little bit of an issue here. EMPs go in, able to get the Cade, so should be opened up.
Getting a bit aggressive there, the Cade, hoping he could try and find somebody, but he's rotated his way out of the elevator and is just going to keep his head down a little bit. In the meantime, you obviously got Juke. The Deimos could get in and get underneath, but it's actually Savage on that shield, gets the first kill. Blaz removed from the back of that position, and now Loira is going to have a little bit more work to do and to cover. Joom has got himself prepped a bit underneath.
Yeah, ideally it should just be Savage swinging in through the window. He has the shield up so he can't get shot as he goes for the rappel, and then looks to get himself into a plant position. However, there's a few areas he needs to clear, elevator being one of them. That's why they've opened up the long angle over towards Kanto, and this is so close for Laura. Runs away at the wrong time, and Adrian picks them up. Now it's a 3v5. If Secret can just go step by step, work through the motions, this should be solid for them.
He's just kind of hoping that he wasn't quite paying enough attention, but Secret, they're locked in. They want to make sure that they can keep their impressive role for all the titles that I've said G2 have taken. They've only really just had a glance at the one that Secret's got. It's not quite theirs to have yet. 5 versus 3, though. We had time before, and as we enter this final minute, will we have it time and time again as it cyclically repeats itself? It's Doki that starts to make things feel a bit worrying, but they make sure they keep the pressure up as Doki doubles down. Somehow finds a second. Joom, though, with the Deimos has a bit of a response. He's doing his best, popping up and trying to put the players down on the singular approach. Zalamau gets himself a third, though. It's suddenly a 2 versus 2, and that sort of tragedy starts to pop in. Both take scraps of damage, both trying to reposition on the side of meeting, and both seemingly being pinged out by that intel game, but the intel reads that Doki's down, and just in the 2 versus 1, 20 seconds, Alamau, his time to step up, but Secret put him down.
Oh, it's getting loud in that room. Both teams up for this fight. And a massive heavyweight clash. I mean, Doki tried his best, and so did Alamau to get some kills back from that 3v5, but just the man advantage was too much that they had to deal with. Yeah, Doki gets wallbanged there, unfortunate for him. And then easy cleanup there from Adrian. I think they had a drone on him. It's in a yellow pink come in, so good information there from Secret. That's the top floor. Not going to be locked in again. We go straight for our third bomb site choice into the open area and kitchen. What is the play going to be for G2, who have, again, we've kind of seen the style that G2 have approached this game. You look at the first map, it was that kind of play, very heavy, go aggressive, peel off when we need to, whenever we think we've wasted enough time, got the picks. You then kind of come around into Consulate. We've seen the attacks. It was all over the place. Individuals trying to make the plays, not working for them, not winning engagements. Mowgli having the time of his life. So what do G2 do different? What's going to be the game plan going into a map like Bank, which plays very different to the other two, where it is all about making sure that you can take that map control on a big old map. Mowgli, an opening pick for him. Loira goes down. Big player to pick off. Gonna be sent to the cameras, and I mean, he is the Valkyrie. He's gonna get some value in those cameras.
Yeah, but I think knowing Loira, he'd probably be happy to get more value out of his gun, but this is almost what we wanted, right? First map, you had some big players show up from the side of G2. Second, Mowgli really ran the show, and here, getting a little bit of both either side, and hope that it continues. Though, a lot of work here for the Twitch to just get done. You've obviously got a utility to burn your way through whenever you approach pretty much any of the Bank sites, but first step forward will be that lead in on towards the pressure here. Outside elevators along the long watch, the flash in towards janitors. The player just drops up. Doesn't want to see what happens next. You do still have a little bit of an aggressive position of Blaz towards the top of the stairs, but he doesn't want to face-to-face with Savage, and fair enough. They forced them back and back and back and all the way down towards the bottom of the main stairs. Next, getting himself a rotate, can try and reapply the pressure up top blue, but Secret done a lot of clearing on the top. The problem was, again, as it was the first time, time.
Yeah. Minute 20. They still have to get into the bomb site. This is only the kind of tellers and archives section where obviously G2 looking for that extension, and Secret still need to work their way over to the actual bomb site in towards open area. I mean, the hatch is still closed and electrified, and they actually don't have any hard breach to remove that. So for Secret, not having that hatch as an open, you know, that may slow them down, where they're going to maybe have to flood in through bottlenecks. You know, we know that open area hatch, it's great just for that immediate drop. You're in, you can plant. If you don't have that, you're going to have to try and find an alternative route. And if it could be like a jumping through copy, I mean, that's a risk. I mean, even in towards the Beepers right here, look at where the player is tucked very close. I'm sure of a shotgun as well, so... And the big old flank! Where's the kick from? Blaz is able to try a bit of pressure, but he gets killed doing so.
They're expecting a double down, but instead it's a rotate round. Aggression on the front, the smoke is slowing them, but look above. The Buck is trying to find an angle, and the aggressive trade out will come together. It's a close fight. It's the Black Bid, not quite sure what that interaction was, but it wasn't anything G2 like. Secret, they pull themselves ahead.
Oh, big moment there for Blaz, though. Really could have had it. Came out of nowhere. He must have dropped the hatch and looked for that flank. He's a happy Frenchman. Oh, I mean, for G2, I thought they were in a good position, you know, with the hatch being shot, being catered off, and you could have had that bottleneck, but I think whenever you kind of look, you know, Blaz not picking up that kill, the 3v5, great neg, though, to clear away that player in behind the desk, clearing away that Azami. That was very, very important. You had the cutoff, I think, from Copy Window, was able to kill that Azami. And then you have that man advantage that Secret can just apply. So for G2, some kills not going in their favor. Sometimes, all you need is a little bit of luck. You know, that goes a long way in a game like Siege. At the moment, Secret, they have that.
They have themselves the one extra round as well. And as alluded to earlier on, both these teams, with their enjoyment of Bank, both generally have more success on the attack. And that's the split that Secret is going to try and drive home. Again, they're just both bloody good at this map, and it's always fun to see them sort of go toe-to-toe, but as the removal of Hibana comes through, the Warriors' Secret might be a bit too slow, as they found themselves struggling with time on this site before. Will they adopt something different, Demo?
Yeah, and also don't forget that's both of the ranged hard breachers gone, so whenever it comes to that top floor, you think with the Kanto position that was opened up and Laura died from it, that's not going to be an issue whenever we go back up towards that top floor, so that is good for G2 whenever we get around to it, but we are going to go back down to that basement, and it was the time management from Secret that was the issue. They couldn't clear the power positions quick enough. I mean, they're bringing plenty of util to do so, but, you know, dumping util and following up on it's two different things.
They can already see that this side is pretty empty, but here, an early destruction of utility, and it's just perfect. Everything you want there.
And you think about what really hurt them in the last round. Yes, they took their time clearing away those certain positions.
I'm reloading.
But then a Goyo gets popped, and there's just no way into that bomb site. Bringing in that Twitch, clearing that util early on. Think of the time now that is going to be up for Secret. They should be laughing all the way to the bank. I don't know. Sorry, had it sitting there. Plucked it out, had to.
Yeah, that's fine. Stick to analysis, so well, let's leave those to me, and I don't think you should bank on anything more like that. Going for the break on towards elevator here, see if they can try and get the angle to the players. Minute 30, and they've got themselves in a similar position to the time as they did before, but this time there hasn't been an early trade of bodies. Adrian, prepped and ready to roll as more fire burns itself on the hatch, just sort of waiting and wasting. And remember, it was a Loira triple kill that was able to pull this one together, but aided, as you said, by the third man. The shield will make this a little bit of an easier route. You can hear the bees start to come down. Loira starts to pop off again, but it's Doki that doubles down, and a stuck man in the bottom of an elevator will G2 swarm, lock him out and stop him going anywhere. But Noah, a saving grace, saves the face of one and catches Stompin'.
Jum in a great position now to try and hold on to that garage player. Oh, and Blaz is none the wiser. There's an angle onto him, and he walks straight into it.
3 versus 2. They have the long watch across both sites here, and they're going to see if they can try and get themselves gathered and go for the plant tucked in towards B. But Loira, 2 canisters could be the slow, and oh no! He won't be able to do anything else this round, as instead Secret slam their way to the fight, but Doki drops the man with the shield. 30 seconds. You can see the width, one on gold, one in the site itself. They're going to see if they can maybe just try and get the cover. They can hold the crosses. I don't know what entirely he's going for, but it's nothing. As Noah threads that narrow angle.
Oh, that is a risky challenge I thought from Noah. I actually thought Noah made the perfect play. He's rotated into position where he can just cut off that rotation.
Guys, look to me, like they are playing like fast the second step, and then like we are panicking the late round. Okay, let's be calm, like and play like we're gonna target. Like, let's communicate our cross party. We are dying for stupid angles. Okay, I think like either if you wanna fight more, fight also the first step again. We can do the basement round. Be ready for the shield like in the archive tellers. Okay, Cal can hold the server, or we can also like just do the 2 above because like we have ace here on above. But also I want to fight more first step, okay? Maybe like Laura play below if Valk, okay? If you like are confident on that, like let's fight more the first step, and then like after like they do the first step, let's be ready for they do fast like the second step, and like we be calm in like the late round. Okay, let's go, guys. We got this. Let's go, Laura.
Come on, let's go. Let's go, guys. Guys, I have an idea.
What's the idea? No, you can't cut off of that. No,
who lip reads?
What's the idea, Doki? What is it?
So we'll have to try and work it out.
Please say Amari. Come on, I need an Amari in this game.
Well, I don't think so, because they're on defense. But
that's true. I just want to see an Amari anyway.
That's Doki's plan, and he's going to really hope.
What is the counter? Oryx. Give me an Oryx. Oryx up the hatch in the basement. Love it. Oh, stop. No.
We're up top, and well, maybe Doki's plan was I'm going to get back on the boss G, because to be fair, he got 2 and a bit kills last time he was here. Problem is, that doesn't win you a round.
So this bottom side should be a lot more stable for G2 because of the Habana ban that they went for previously. You don't have the ace, you don't have the Habana. Opening up that counter wall is not going to be a possibility for Team Secret. And because that's not going to be a possibility, it actually kind of frees up G2 in terms of their operator selection. You don't have to bring a Bandit or a Cade to really have to worry about those walls being opened up, so you can bring in a few more traps. When we heard Romalio mention maybe a Valkyrie below could help.
Trying to just get that filter of intel. That huge cavernous space that is the lobby of Bank. Something Doki's not going to get anything on, because Noah gets a very early pick and read onto, as I said, the player who went for the big things before maybe went for a bit of a big action here and has a great gun for peeking, but the energy currently felt by Secret and the energy that they can try and add on to this is massive, and this is also the concern. G2 love to throw themselves out of the building at least once on their half, and Loira almost gets caught rotating inside. In fact, it was Mowgli who took the first bleed. It was perfectly timed. Loira gets caught rotating underneath.
Yeah, he's just wallbanged him in through lower elevators. Wow, that Valkyrie blow that Romalio said, let's bring that and see if we can create a bit of chaos. It's gone, and 2 players off the board before we even hit halfway through the round is not a great look for G2. Jum below looking for any bits of gadgetry, and he will be able to spot out, I assume, some of the Valkyrie cameras. That's the main thing to take note of. But again, for Secret, it's just that step by step. Just go through the motions, just work G2 for all they're worth.
Oh, a lot of damage done, and out of all that's left, they've just pieced them apart. And brick by brick, you might say you build a build, but The building's been blown. It's been pushed over. It's 3 pigs, and they've huffed and they've puffed, Demo, and everything's fallen down for G2. Just like that.
I thought that was not intended. I thought the brick house was supposed to help them. Not the case. He's lost his mind.
Do you think, this could be a guess, do you think he really wants to play in front of a crowd in Paris?
I mean, one thing all the Frenchmen have done really well. I mean, even, of course, for Blast, don't forget as well, this would be massive for him.
Yep.
But you look, obviously, the Falcons are the obvious ones. Baby Shark on wildcard gets that privilege. I mean, there will be French players on the French stage. And as I've said that, guess who's ran over? Thinking, look at me, look at me, it's Leo, I'll be there. I'm French too, don't forget about me.
Leo's French? I always thought he was Scottish. So, it's a tough situation. I don't think I really need to say it, but we'll break it down by the fact that Blaz and Alamau are in a similar state to how Stompin and Doki were in the last map. Haven't been able to get themselves into the kill game.
Yeah, I mean, apart from Doki, really, there's not a whole lot going on for the G2 players. Somebody needs to step up. I mean, back against the wall, this is what G2's made of. I mean, you think of the comebacks that this team has been able to perform over the course of its history as an organization. One thing that the G2 DNA has, it's not over yet until the last kill is found. And they still got a chance to at least salvage the half for a 4-2 split. But Secret, the confidence that they have, they'll be looking for that 5-1. Doki, opening pick, goes his favor, and look at this look at this from G2, this is better. Take the fight to Secret, don't let them set up. It's something that Romalio touched in the timeout.
Yeah, they've dug themselves in. They've been able to get these opening 2 kills. There goes the Dockerbeat. There goes the Blackbeard. And there goes a much more limited approach now for the side of Secret. Instead, they're going to have to try and piece things together. Send a boogie drone. Down a corridor, it can't do much other than add some audio distraction, but nothing on the back of it. Sort of shows that maybe this one hasn't quite operated the same. They're prepped up on the copy window, maybe going to get the cross and get some of the control above, but, you know, think about where the kid is right now, Demo. Was it a failed rush that they attempted?
I don't think that's something that Secret would have went for, because, again, that slow and steady approach has really benefited them. Adrian looking to see if he can just find a few picks outside that copy window, but right now for G2, just sit in your hands, you have that man advantage. Mowgli has made a big old play in for the open area, the forward can't get hit him, but it doesn't matter. G2, they get that important round to at least give them a bit of hope now, as we have that side swap.
And you can see the energy from Romalio and Doki, obviously, just trying to get the team energized. And remember how long of a day it has been here for G2. They were faced with not just one sort of reigning champion, but 2. We've alluded to it before. And here, when you are, what, 6, 7 hours, 8 hours later on from an earlier showdown, gotta just try and find that extra pocket, that extra moment, that extra bit of belief that you can carry your way all the way to the end for 2. It's not that unheard of.
It is in the realms of possibility with this side. And again, it's that belief that G2 need to have. We know that G2, whenever they're on their game, everyone playing to the potential that we know that they can beat anyone on their day. I think the biggest issue, though, we can say the same about Secret, that both of these sides are so evenly matched across just the tournament. Look at the stats, so similar. Who is going to take it and send the other one home?
10 seconds to go.
Right. Into the second half. Basement defense is where we kick things off. You look at the lineup from Secret. Plenty of denial. You have the Goyo, which is a bit of a given. And the Tachanka coming in from Adrian. And that Clash from Savage as that extra layered defense. I mean, Clash I don't think sees an awful lot of gameplay on a map like Bank.
No.
Mostly because you have to deal with like 20 different angles, and Clash is a lot better in the kind of bottleneck scenarios. Because you can't very well just kind of set up your shield and look towards server if you know somebody can drop the hatch and red and kill you while you're behind it. That doesn't really help. So I am curious to see the Clash come in, and it's going to be used as more of a kind of roam-centric operator, just to put that early pressure on the G2, kind of make them stop, make them think, why is the Clash up here? This is unusual.
Well, we had an allusion towards a Ying shotgun, and we've seen some mixed results, but this is a long corridor, and you're going to have to hope the blind carries you a bit of a distance as Army is under a bit of pressure from Deimos on the other side and can drop the hatch as soon as the swing comes around. The Clash is there to offer some support. The blind's come through, and at this point, just clearing ground, really. Force them further back, take the terrain, and do it at least 30 seconds quicker, though, with a bit more utility usage than what we saw Secret achieve.
Yeah, this is good from G2 again, getting themselves into a great position where they can start opening up that bomb site. Breach! Get the hatches open. Still got plenty of util. Obviously, the operator we have to look at is going to be also those shields that we know can be used in one of two ways. One, you send a kind of lone Ossa in towards Garage, you set up that shield, you create that beautiful cross in towards red. Or the other, you come in through server and you use that to help with the plant.
Now look, the fact that obviously you've still got utility to remove, and they're still peeking their way up the hatches itself. When you've got these Goyo canisters, the chance at hucking grenades in and hoping they can get the piece pulled apart. The C4 out the door does not catch anybody. Again, they have another fire canister they could pop, which sounds like they did. Mowgli does pop one. There's the trade back. Stomping, swings out, gets revenge, and gets some pressure on towards servers. Now, that player on those stairs is massively surrounded. Doom, how long can he hold on for? Can he get one? Do they even know they've dropped down? Yeah, they seem to do as they're either side of him. No, back in. Stomping's going to push on. Instead, it's all the focus. There's the fire, there's the swing, and there's not quite a catch. He doubles down. Doing all he can to keep G2 on the up and on the pressure.
And this is where Alamau on the Ossa comes in big. Just set the shield up, you can go for the plant. There's no C4s, there's no impacts, these shields will remain. All they really have is just to flame them off via the Tachanka, so that's the operator that they need to put pressure on.
Well, here's the coverage, here's the swing, and here's the attempt at the plant. But Tachanka, Adrian, Buddy, there's stuff going on the other side, and he's blinded. Just as he went for the fight itself, lost the man. Loira finds his own in the meantime, and well, this one has pieced itself apart. G2 in one of the hardest plant retakes. Noah here. And he's going to go up because what else do you have? He's going to try and find his first engagement in open. Does he know about stomping? No is the answer. G2. 2 rounds in a row either side of the half, and now only 1 round separates them.
Clinical from G2. Great dissection the way they went through the motions. Use that Ossa. And Adrian just not in a position to use the Tachanka. Was really worried about that backstab, and that just plays into the playstyle of G2. We know the players that can just go off on a wonder, can make a play, can make things happen, and that's always going to be in the back of Secret's head. The what-if kind of element to the game of Siege. And as we know, once that diffuser goes down in this bomb site, Emmy, there ain't no way anyone is going to get that diffuse off.
They're starting to believe. And we came into this, to be fair, with a pretty even 51-49% split in the voting, so I think everybody else always has belief. And, well,
who tipped the scales?
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Probably
10 seconds left before insertion.
be my guess.
5 seconds left.
Either way. They've got everything to try and slow down. Maybe keep eyes on. Get the Echo with the extra drone. You've obviously got big, wide play spaces here, and the way that they sort of snuck in, you could see that Secret were opting to try and get aggressive, peek up the hatches, cause problems. Not immediately. They gave them some ground, some positions to chase, to have to clear out. And at that point, the Secret was how they would try and fight back. But with the Echo, the active droning they could offer towards these potential roam players, I mean, we're still obviously always waiting for somebody to pop off. That's just this roster, and the first bit will be the Ossa push once again. Alamau not been able to get himself a kill yet, but if he can get the shields down and have to cross, well, That's what the team need.
Yeah, I like the Osa again. It's a good operator to try and control that ground. It's also very good at kind of getting yourselves into the map of Bank, which sometimes through those windows can be a little bit dangerous. We know a shield covering your face does help things out. And oh, look at that thing from Savage! There was no cover from the windows! He just walks up to the breach and he kills Lyra! The Thermite gone! The main way they were going to get into this site is gone!
And now that kit, right by one of the most dangerous walls on the entirety of the map. How do you get there? Probably with the Talon shields we see, but it has to be some important cover coming from the side of Janitors. They've already proved they're happy to swing onto these awkward angles. Hits the Grismot.
And yes, they can get themselves over to the other side of the main breach, but how do they then get through Janitor? The whole reason why you open up that wall is to make Janitor unplayable. This is a big issue for G2, and they need to try and crack it. They've still got util from Doki. He's got the firebolts, but Savage, he's the counter operator. He's the Wamai. So realistically, the arrows shouldn't be doing much.
They have a backline. Secret just have to make sure they keep that awareness I talked about before and keep the read through. There is coverage from the bolts. There is chance at forcing players, and with the smoke and the Rara doors, you can imagine things are going to get a little bit spicy when they try and go for the development. But 3 impacts, they can get rid of those just as quick as they appear, and that's the game that Secret have to hold on to. Here's the coverage. Will there be any pressure on the side of it? As I said, they're happy to swing and even happier to find results, but Mowgli now retakes this cross. They have either side the pinch, and he just has to not give himself on towards Stompin'. But again, this kit position, they're all around it. They're everywhere, Demo.
They have to try and get a move on and find these players. The Doki call goes in. Doki looking for the creep up in towards Janitor. Savage finds another. Doki now makes himself throw the DMR. No! Savage with a drop shot! Free for him in the round, and Stompin' all by himself. 15 seconds, walks into the LMI and walks into his demise. Savage, good for 4. Wow, wow, wow. Secret, I mean, that early kill. Yeah, being able to pick off that Thermite, and we've seen that Janitor position. I don't think we caught it on camera. I was able to see it. Alamau tried to go for the plant with the Osa shield, but then what does Savage do? Just peeks Janitor, throws the impact. Alamau can't go for that anymore.
Job done. Job done, and I sort of said it at the start of the round. You're always expecting somebody to pop off, but to be fair, it's not always Savage going for that position. It's not always Savage the one that's, walking up towards, as I said, one of the most dangerous walls, especially with the setup that they had. You had the Osta at the back of top square. That's your cover. But they were expecting Janitors. They weren't expecting a madman to suddenly decide, I'm gonna go.
You gotta have some big cojones to go for that. I mean, like, oh. What a play. But I will say, not a lot in it. 2 rounds is what separates it.
5 seconds to insertion.
Secret. Open area will be locked in. For G2, what do they need to do? I mean, again, I don't think that this is anything to do with how G2 are operating. I like the strategy, I like the operators, I like the attacks they're going for. It's just that one slip up, letting a guy kill that Thermite. It's just, this is how, at the very top levels of Siege, you will be punished. You make that one mistake, and the enemy team will just grab that and run with it.
Now they've pulled away from the Osta. They've got themselves ready to take care of utility as quick as possible in this bulletproof one. It doesn't always survive very long, but it gets the clip thrown up. It will carry that statistic here. Eyes on the sight, but the verticality is what they want to try and lock down. And Ella, Mowgli, he's under a little bit of pressure, but he's surrounded by friends in a nice place, and it's actually the drive from the Deimos underneath that locks it in. But there's the first. Adrian gets on towards one, and there's the fight, but Mowgli won it out! Instead he was making his motion, but instead they've just entirely been rebuffed. A 5-2. Stompin' does find Mowgli, gets revenge, but I'm sure he'll be very happy with what he's done this round already. Off the top rope, of the top stairs, and through Doki. Now on towards the quad wall. Again, they just tried to slip the kid in, but as soon as you hit that mine behind them, top blue, they're in a position to swing on. Stompin' gets one, but Savage doubles down. And Secret sit with a couple of rounds of safety in a driving seat of progressing along.
G2, they've tried to go fast. It's a classic. We see that attack work for them a decent amount of the time. It's that quick take in through copy window. But it just hasn't paid off. Secret had the read on them. Big engagements being won across the map. Secret to keep the streak alive. Don't forget there's streaks on the line in this game.
17 this would make it. 17 plays of Bank in a row. And they would win them all. And, yeah, I mean, you can see why. They're active, they're mobile, they're aggressive. They're not entirely in control. There are moments of G2, there's moments of this drive, and as I said, it's a great map for G2 as well, but there's a reason. It's a current 16 undefeated for Secret. There's a reason this team has had the year that they have had, and it seems like they want to give another reason why they might start turning more of those polls in towards their favor. But G2 still on their attack. It's Bank. Yes, the timeout is long since used, but we know what these players have done before. They can still 100% drive this one into overtime.
Yeah, of course they can. The bans have came in. G2 not wanting to deal with the Azami. A good ban. We know the way that Secret want to kind of have those holds in towards open area and then quickly drop off whenever the going gets tough. Don't have to worry about that. I mean, Secret going for the Monty ban, but I don't think that's really been a big issue for Secret, to be honest.
I think they just wanted to make sure they couldn't get a panic Monty out. But
Yeah.
Savage stepped up, as we said before, these positions. Now he's ready to see if he can get somebody as soon as they enter onto square. He's hoping the call and pings will come out from his team. But it's just steady. It's so cautious here from G2.
It's tense. That first pick could be very important. G2 need to find it. They've almost found it onto Noah. He's on about half HP now. Doki makes his entrance now down in towards the staircase. And Stomping with the first pick. Down goes Joom. The Mozzie has been eliminated. Stomping just off, doing what he does best, finding kills on the other side of the map. Now he can try and take control of in towards Tellers and Archives and lock out this roam game. Don't allow those defenders to have that confidence.
What a time for him to finally start to, feel that energy, let him drive, let him get into these positions he likes and hope that follow-throughs can come, but there's Mowgli. Gets Doki, gets that Deimos, gets that response, drifts his way back into open, makes them have to check and recheck. They know somebody's at the back end of garage and they're so tempted to see if they can try and make friends with them, but as the swing comes out, they actually survive. Luckily, Laura are almost ready to rip the head off of Noah. There's not much left of him already. They double stack, they swing it out, and Adrian cements himself for two. Can they swing wide? It's a rush down green. There's a trade back and forth. Main is on its position. Stomping still around, hanging and hoping he can get the swing round, but he's pushed further back. Secret, no, they can push a 2 versus 1, but instead hits on towards the other side. Blaz with the Vault Hatch drop right into a Fenrir. A minute demo, a minute might separate G2's run. It's a close fight, but it's Stomping's connection to make. The 2 versus 2, bitterly built across the Bank basement. But there's another one for Noah. And here's Secret sit in the 2 versus 1. Blaz with a massive clutch earlier, wants to try and add another towards that list, another to his day, and another bit of hope for G2. But on the side, fighting like heroes is not enough. This is not G2's story to tell instead. Secret, well, they've decided history is already full of Secret's demo, and they are here to make their own mark.
The streak continues. Bank once again being the stronghold of Team Secret. G2 have tried again to break a team on Bank, but this time it did not happen for them. G2 out of 6 Invitational. They tried the lower run the same way they tried SI23, but this time it did not